I'm Dara O'Brien. Season's greetings and welcome to a special festive edition of Mock the Week, coming to you live from Pizza Express in Woking. We're here for a team bonding on a standard shooting weekend. So this week, you'll be watching outtakes, unseen material and a look back at the year. Make sure you enjoy it. No sweat.
This is the meltdown of the core of the Labour Party.
That's how bad things are getting. Shit is falling out of the sky.
It's a bit of white tape.
Shift this along before what that tape was holding for.
We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Why did she decide to moonwalk to the lectern?
Is it Theresa May proving that she can leave something?
Has someone just shouted, "We'll be glad to see the back of you," and she's taken it far too literally?
No, I think what she said was she was like, now I can listen to my favourite music, the country and western I love.
I think of some of those great country songs and I begin to cry as well.
It does look frighteningly like the door is still closed. That would have been great if during the speech they changed the locks. You just see some bin bags flying out the window.
The letter flap opens from the inside and all of her clothes are just pushed out. Does anyone know what the story is?
Is it Theresa May resigning as Conservative leader?
Absolutely right. Yes, thank you very much, Dan. Yes, this is Prime Minister Theresa May outside 10 Downing Street, having just announced her resignation. May will step down as leader of the Conservative Party on the 7th of June, but will continue to serve as Prime Minister until the Tory leadership contest has been concluded. This seemed to be the biggest question you had. Did you feel sorry for her?
Well, I feel sorry for anyone who's forced to make an announcement standing in the middle of a road.
I am originally from Russia, and I can't deal that resignation is even an option for a leader.
But why do you need a lectern? I don't understand that. You could do it with a bit of paper. If she's got a lectern, it always makes you think she's going to make an announcement with a glove puppet. Making an important policy announcement.
Every time.
Here to help me is monkey.
Every time you see something behind a lectern, you think, what university did you go to exactly?
City University.
Yeah, City University.
Yeah, it was, yeah, wasn't it? Yeah, it really was, yeah. Cambridge. Oh, are you also the head of Caius College or whatever?
I think you'll find it's pronounced Keys. I'm terribly sorry. I just couldn't let that one go.
In terms of sports, who made an impressive comeback this week?
No, this was a friend of the show.
Friend of the show?
Andy Murray.
Andy Murray, yes. Andy Murray won the doubles tournament at Queen's on his comeback tournament.
Yeah, after he's had his hip resurfaced.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
Resurfaced?
Yeah, it's clay now. It was grass.
Well, I'm sort of assuming you would do it with tarmac, would you?
Yeah. And that's the way you're asking me, the Irishman.
Why I was asking.
Like, I can get to the tarmac. I'm just saying. I'm offended, but also I spot a deal when it's appearing.
They shaved a bit of the surface of the joints off.
That's the thing about you oldies. You know about stuff like this.
How much older than you am I?
11 years.
I like that you've checked it.
You just told us you were 47. So it didn't take much for me to go, well, I'm 36. That's the thing about you oldies. You can't count. Give them a Sudoku puzzle. Keep it working.
I'm the same age. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Oh, you never know why you're laughing. That's what happens when you get to a certain age.
I'm just happy to be here. Just happy to be around.
I just think it's nice that you came to visit, Tom. That's all.
We all came to visit.
And you finally found a girlfriend.
What about this every day?
In other news, who was expelled from the Labour Party recently?
Oh, shit, I've spilled... Oh, fucking arsehole. Didn't get me.
But got the electric cables. Hey, James, see that big car that Trump had?
Hey, brother.
What do we
What's up, brother?
Hey, homie. Hey,
We
cracker.
talking like this for the pickup?
Hey, cracker. What special car did Trump bring over with him?
Oh, I don't know, Daddy-O.
The Beast.
The Beast. It was the Beast. What's the Beast?
He's never going to get that into the ULEZ zone, is he?
First thing Trump did when he arrived was meet the Queen. Here they are, meeting.
Yeah.
Nice that he's put on his formal wear tutu. That was nice.
I like to imagine she's going, oh, you arrived at Stansted, did you? That was my idea.
Why does she need a handbag? She's in her own garden.
I think that's why she's carrying her mace in case the
If you just focus on the front bit of the jacket, it looks like he's got the most obscene boner in history.
You can't not see it. You can't not see it now.
Look, none of us have met the Queen. We don't know what it's like.
Sorry, I spilled water on my foot and I nearly slipped.
That is a weird exam question. Oh, sorry. Not in character. It's
fine, fine.
Is there now water all over the floor? Is there?
No, it's fine. I just have my foot in the wet patch.
You're doing your own jokes now, aren't you?
Sorry, what? Is that a euphemism? Got your foot in the wet patch? Know what I mean? No.
You have to remember, Nish hasn't done it.
Yeah. Moving on. How did a deer make headlines in America recently?
Oh, this is amazing. We're going to watch it.
Yes, this is a deer arriving in some style at a hair salon in Long Island in New York. No one will be at the hair salon. What the hell's this?
Is that bloke going, no, I said I wanted moose.
Out the door.
Look how politely it left out the door.
It was looking really sweet. I'm so sorry about your window.
Exactly.
It was like he was a disgruntled customer. He was like, going, what the hell do you call this?
I like to think that just off shot there's a dog owner shouting, Fenton!
A dress entirely in red with a white beard. Rudolph!
Sorry, this is new technology, right?
Yeah.
You may not know this, OK, but when you're getting a haircut, it can be very awkward. Midway through the haircut, you can tell the hairdresser's not really up to it and it's not going well. So they've made this new app in America where if you're panicking, you can just get your phone out and go, save me, and then a moose crashes into...
In other news, who's favoured to replace Theresa May as party leader?
Boris Johnson,
Boris,
you've got to worry. Like, he's been quiet for about 6 months. We knew he was up to something. The Tories are likely to select him, aren't they? Because it's up against Farage, and you need to fight Titan with Titan of it. You know, it's like the plot of Godzilla, but with bell ends.
If it does end up being Boris, I find it so weird that he will sleep in the same bed that Theresa May used to cry under.
Oh, that's so sad.
I know, but whoever comes in after him will definitely change the bed.
I can imagine him putting in one of those race car beds.
I think if he does become Prime Minister, it does mean that Gary Busey will be in Series 7 of The Crown.
So that's then we got Rob, we got Gove.
Esther McVeigh.
Esther McVeigh's running. This is Tommy Fury. This is Tommy Fury, he's running as well. He's the 20-year-old boxer from Manchester. He's running as well. Who else is running? I think we've got, is it Yolanda Biala? She's running. Wait a minute, hang on. Oh, we may have mixed it up. This is Love Island. Sorry, this is Love Island. We're on at the same time, so it's very easy to mix up these two competitions. They're both running during the summer. They're both going to be huge. There'll be eliminations. We'll narrow it down. Do you know what the best thing about Love Island is?
Go on.
Oh, God, Ed Gamble's in it. Look, Ed Gamble's in it. Wow. Oh. There I am. Look at Ed Gamble. Ed, this is...
You know what? You're the first people to bring it up. Oh. It's not like I've been dealing with 24 hours of shit on Twitter for this.
Ed, it's another reason for you to take that shirt off.
OK, meanwhile, how did former Conservative MP Rory Stewart upset two Irish musicians?
Grown-up Rhys James?
Yeah, Rhys James is the future.
You love it when we bring this up, don't you, babe?
You love it.
What a wonderful person to look like.
It is the...
Every time.
I think that's unfair because he looks like a zombie of Rhys James, which is double spooky because Rhys already looks like a ghost.
Isn't it infuriating that when Ed gets a look-alike, it's someone from Love Island, a TV show about sexy people? And when I get one, it's a 46-year-old Tory who looks like a haunted puppet.
It really just looks like your bit of hair that's folded over has just flipped up.
Tell me again, what is it that how did he get in trouble?
So he had a video of him meeting two Irish musicians who happened to be black in Brick Lane, and he referred to them later on as minor gangsters. Now, you can't just assume that everyone that you meet is black. That is black. Yeah, that would be a weird... That would be a weird...
You're right, Angela, you can't... I did that for many years.
That is the most woke thing I've ever heard. I don't presume you're black. Well, hello, Your Majesty. No, I'm not presuming you're black. Our next round is called Newsreel. We play in a recent piece of footage featuring people in the news and ask Hugh to suggest what might be being said. This week's clip features the EU leaders.
I know I'm not meant to be at the G7, but I thought I'd just pop in. Oh, don't wait, Theresa. It's lovely to see you. Look at this, it's hilarious. This is Prince Andrew on Would I Lie to You? And another photo, look at that, it's Jacob Rees-Mogg out in his trousers on. Now, that is what I call a dick pic. Theresa, I'm very sorry, it's for current world leaders only. We're going to need that chair for Boris. Well, fuck Boris, I'm staying. She just turned up without an invite, wearing the same outfit as me. Oh, the shitty blue jacket. So I'll just stand here for the leader's photo. Yeah. So where is everyone? At the leader's photo, I can't stand there. I look like Vladimir Nomad standing at the Friendship bus stop. Where is everyone? Oh, this man, he will stand next to me. Yes, you will stand next to me. How do you do? All right. You will regret that. What's wrong? Have I got some shit on my shoes? Oh, yeah, shit on my shoe. I have shit on my shoe. You will stand next to me or I will kill you. What is that funny smell?
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Is it how many decibels does the fox below my window orgasm at?
There's a real tone to it as well, isn't there?
Yeah. It sounds like it's saying Ed.
I'm thinking of you on Love Island. What's getting me over the line here? Does anyone know the correct answer?
How many people have been buying tickets for the Women's World Cup?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Kerry Gondaman. Have you been following any or all of this?
Yeah, I've been singing Three Lionesses on the Shirt S's.
It's very early in the tournament, isn't it? We've only played one
yeah.
game, haven't we, against Scotland. We've got 6.1 million viewers, which is great.
So they're the Lionesses.
Yes.
Do they change the badge? Do they do it like Disney do and just put eyelashes on the lion?
bow. They wear the little bow like Miss Pac-Man. Wears a bow and then looks giddy about the whole thing.
Some people are annoyed about it, though, aren't there? There's all these old-fashioned people being like, I don't want to watch women's football. But I'm actually going to throw my support behind it because I will get behind anything that annoys old-fashioned bigots.
Yeah?
You know, I'm now fully throwing my support behind gay boxing. Oh, fuck. It was going to be so good.
It's gone well.
It was going real well. I had the room captive.
Do you want to give it another crack? Was there more to it?
I feel like they've seen where it's going. So I just think there's a lot of old-fashioned bigots who are kicking off.
There are. Old-fashioned bigots, there are.
Kind of wind you into it.
Do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate? Do you know what I hate, Ed Gamble? Love Island's Ed Gamble. Do you know what I hate?
Come on.
Some of the very reactionary attitudes to something like the Women's World Cup, that really, I don't know about you, but that really gets on my nerves.
Oh, well, that's just given me a thought. I hate the old-fashioned bigots kicking off about women's football. You know, in fact, now I'm going to really get into it, and I'm going to throw my weight behind things like gay box...
I used to go out with a girl years ago who had a great big green top and big gloves, and I took her home to see my mum, and she whispered to me, she's a keeper.
How has the women's manager, by the way, Phil Neville, been channeling Gareth Southgate?
Who's Phil Neville?
Phil Neville is the manager of the Lionesses.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Gareth Southgate is the manager of the men's team.
Are you going to talk about Lotus Sport?
Not...
Because I've got a note.
Oh, OK.
I don't
Dear Sir, please excuse Kerry from talking about PE. Unfortunately, she doesn't understand it. Thanks. Mrs. Kerry, bracket, Kerry's mum. May I...
Is it how long does the average VAR decision take?
Oh, you lads.
How long does Prince Andrew have to stay at someone's house to tell them he's not friends with them anymore?
How long did my French hip-hop group Ratatouille last?
I want to see that. What's the... You see Ratatouille.
What is the average journey time from Guildford to London on South West Railways?
Is it how long did I live rent-free in a London office just by purchasing a Deliveroo jacket?
By the way, all I've done for the last... Well, I don't know what you've been doing. I've been writing the lyrics of the Ratatouille songs.
Those are copyright.
Je suis Ratatouille. Voici the super boogie.
It seems to be sort of hemmed in by your lack of French knowledge.
Hit a very big wall in about 8 words' time.
Well, if you're already on Le Super Boogie, I think you might...
Is it how many days on a Poundland advent calendar?
Do you get extra stuff at Poundland?
No, I'm just being mean about... Poundland's actually a very good shop, I'd say. Very handy. Well, I once bought some clippers there for my head, and it literally ripped the skin off my...
Is that why you bought?
Yeah.
Did you?
No. I'm not even listening. Janvier, February. Moving on. If you're to appear more attractive, how should you pose?
With your cock out.
On behalf of all women, I'd like to say it's much more attractive when he's in.
Yeah.
It's probably not worth it now.
Yeah.
Shit, actually.
Do it.
Stop.
Do it.
Welcome to the salon. Yes, we've actually got a special on for Wookiees. Yes, we're doing a waxing. It's for your Chewbacca, Saka and Cracker.
That'd be great. You know, you should do it during the Star Wars topic rather than...
I get this is very overwhelming.
It is an unlikely thing to hear during an election campaign. Yeah, OK, in other news, what have scientists said it's safe to do up to 25 times a day?
Oh, please be what I think it is. Please be what I think it is.
Almost the end of the round. The points go to me for writing an excellent rap. Let's go for it. C'est moi, avec toi, dans le rap, nous sommes les rois. Vous êtes dans la fenêtre et regarde en moi, et ta mère peut-être. Nous sommes en dansant et vous êtes pensant. Ne touchez pas ma mère fondante. I haven't quite finished it all there. OK, the answer is 10 minutes. What is the question?
Is it the average length of a woman's orgasm if you're doing it right?
Now you tell me.
Who's bringing down that average?
Shall I move on? The next topic, I wonder who's going to come in on this one. A little race to the microphone. The next topic is unlikely lines from a Star Wars movie.
You go first.
We're doing a special for what?
Vote for me, Tom Allen.
Andrew's dying. Andrew's dying.
Water. I've just inhaled a fly and I've run out of water.
In other news, who inhaled a fly this week?
That old song. We love that old one.
All right, we all...
All right, Dara, I'm going to do it. All right. Give the people what they want.
Hang on. Before you do, sorry, just to check this out, there's one that we do have to say first. Qu'est-ce que vous avez dans le sac? Avec le crack et sac.
Well, actually, if we're on the topic of science, which I think we are, is it true? You're a science.
Yeah, I'm a science.
Is it true that we've only ever seen giraffes when they're aroused, and if they're not aroused, they just look like a horse?
Yes, we've got a special actually on at the salon today. Yes, for Wookiees. Yes, it's a waxer for your Chewbacca, Saka and Cracker.
That was Tom Allen with Jedi for the Straight Guy.
Meanwhile, what's going on here?
Free hugs!
Oh, yeah.
Free hugs, everybody!
Oh, look, it's Corbyn holding hands with all his Jewish friends.
Jeremy Corbyn summing up his attitude to Brexit by walking down the middle of the road.
Yeah. Did he misunderstand the idea of taking his message nationwide and he's taken it to nationwide?
Is it passers-by pretend it's raining to avoid making eye contact?
Is this the death of the high street?
I spoke to these shoppers. In other news, what's going on here?
Is this the brilliant moment we finally discover that Boris's hair shade is bread?
Do you think he's buying a hard breadstick or a soft breadstick?
I think this is a picture of Boris after he puts yet another bun in the oven.
He's pretty much certainly going, I love bats.
Is he behind the till, though? I can't...
He is behind the till, yeah.
Yeah, but it seems weird that the customers...
But they're not, they're outside. That's glass, Dara. You can see through glass. That's what we call here, we call that a shop window. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a revolutionary thing that came in about 400 or 500 years.
No ends to your acting talents. Southern Belle accent and mine.
Yeah, Dara.
It turns out that
Hey,
the accent you're best at is mime.
How dare you? I'm going to go down to the basement now.
Okay. Next topic is unlikely things to hear on a charity show.
Can you imagine being one of the 350,000 people living in poverty? Sorry, Coventry.
Here we see Abdi walking 20 miles just to fetch clean water for his Somalian family. Oh, hang on a second. No, that's Justin Trudeau.
And now a special report from Piers Morgan in Africa, where for just £3 a month, you can help us keep him.
At the age of 44, Ray discovered an incurable cyst. Help us raise money for the Ray Cyst Foundation.
Every day, these donkeys are abused, humiliated and degraded. For just £2 a month, you can help them indulge in more of their fantasies at the Donkey Spanctuary.
Type 1 diabetes. A very serious illness, but don't base your whole act on it.
Oh, he's brewing one.
Hi, I'm an ambassador for Save the Children. My name is Prince Andrew.
Here at the Make-A-Wish Foundation...
What is Oxfam? Well, we look after Ox's fam.
We're raising money for Stoptober, or as we like to call it, White Ramadan.
Give a man a fish and he'll be fine for a day. Teach a man to fish and with any luck he'll fuck off for the whole weekend.
We've just seen a man wanked off with a copy of the Beano. Welcome to Comic Relief.
Okay, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a history documentary.
Now, while this may look like an ordinary car park in Leicester, this is actually the final resting place of my hymen.
Henry VIII liked his wives to be athletic, and that was her downfall. She wouldn't run, she wouldn't walk. She would simply Anne Boleyn.
And so the king appointed a viceroy as a replacement for his regular Roy.
We talk a lot about Winston Churchill's achievements, but we don't talk nearly enough about that ass!
It's 10:66, so that can only mean one thing. I shouldn't have bought my digital watch from a market.
Before dawn, the carts would all come out to collect the bodies. That is until the day that Prince Philip finally handed in his driving licence.
As the door was opened, he uttered the words which would start the Russian Revolution. "Excuse me," he said, "is Lenin?"
This was a time before Sigourney Weaver, when everyone else had to weave their own Sigourneys.
Incensed that both Henry and Edward had become king, Thomas the Tank Engine plotted revolt.
Of course, we talk a lot about Richard the Lionheart, but we seldom talk about his brother, William the Leopard Scrotum.
Today, we look at one of the key figures of the Ming Dynasty, your mum.
I look like you're still following me. Yeah, boum, c'est moi, c'est toi. Nous sommes les rois. Oui. Et vous êtes dans le fenêtre. Et vous regardez avec ta mère, peut-être. And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining this week are Tom Allen, Tina Kublenyu and Rhys James, Nigel Ung, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. Before we begin the show proper, it should be noted, this is the first time we've been back since that whole COVID thing kicked off, and we've had to make the show pretty different. For example, all the panellists are doing the show encased in Perspex Cube. As well as that, we have a tiny audience in the room with us. We're delighted to have them here, but they are socially distanced. They are separate from each other or put together into blocks of four who might not know each other. We haven't checked.
It looks like we're really near the end of a game of Guess Who.
Supplementing that, we have an audience as well on Zoom. Hello, the Zoom audience. They will be getting the jokes maybe 30 seconds later than we make them because of their dodgy home Wi-Fi. That's how we have to make these shows now. We start tonight with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Athena, which category would you like?
I'll have home news, please.
Home news it is. The answer is alcohol, flour and toilet roll. What is the question?
Is it, what do pubs have to serve together to comply with the new rules?
Is it, what else do I also buy if all I wanted was just condoms and lube?
Is it, what can you use to trap an alcoholic baker with a bowel problem?
What would you find stuck to the wall after an orgy at Mary Berry's house?
Is it, what are the sugar babes' birthstones?
Is it, what's on the Andrex puppy's rider?
Is it, what will people soon be bartering with in Manchester?
Is it the only thing I want to see on your wedding list? I've seen a chest freezer, I swear to God.
Is it what I need for my elaborate bum wiping ceremony?
Is it in our new trade deal with Japan, what will we be swapping for Cornwall?
What are the next 3 fragrances of Lynx?
OK, does anyone want to give me the correct answer?
Yeah, is this what visitors must assume is the theme of my bedroom?
Is it the thing that people are panic buying at the moment? They're worried about a second lockdown.
That's absolutely close enough. Thank you very much. Come on, very good.
How did I get it? How did I get it? I don't know how I get that.
Yes, the question, of course, I was looking for was what products have seen a surge in sales in the last month? This is the news that British shoppers have been buying more alcohol, flour and toilet paper, thought to be anticipation of tighter lockdowns in the future. How have you all been dealing with the ongoing
Buying booze. I've bought so much booze, I've had to tell my Ocado driver I'm having an illegal rave so he doesn't judge me. The problem I've got, Dara, is I got engaged in week 1 of lockdown, which was a rookie error on my fella's part, really, like to do it in week 1. But now I've just got to keep him pissed until we've actually, you know, booked the registry office.
Is there a danger that during lockdown you'll grow bored of this situation and just end up breaking up? Is that what's going to happen.
Oh, Dara, please. Make it a light-hearted show. We've all been through a lot. Don't start asking questions like that.
my whole life.
Dara, will it work? Dara said. Will the Perspex screens make it a more difficult... No, you probably asking probing questions about people's relationships breaking down.
I went to Sainsbury's, I went to the supermarket, not to stockpile, but I needed to get some wipes, some antibacterial wipes, because I needed to wipe the outside of my antibacterial bottle. That is it's the most COVID-covered surface in history. You touch it every time you think you've touched a sneeze, and then you wipe your hands with it, and then you touch it again, because we're all idiots. That's what we're doing. So I was going to the supermarket to get some wipes, and then when I got the wipes, I was going to go home and wipe the wipes, OK? Because I'm not an idiot. People forget that step. You've got to wipe the outside of the wipe packet. There's an old phrase to help you remember it. If you don't wipe the wipes wipe you, OK?
Reece, were you locked down on your own? Because you're like my mum when she hasn't seen anyone for 3 weeks. She's got to keep talking.
I was locked down with your mum, actually, yeah.
I think it's fun wearing masks. I mean, never has there been a more brilliant time to impersonate a dentist.
But I love the mask stuff because Asians have been doing this shit for ages.
Yeah, it's a very...
So we're well prepared. You know, imagine the next pandemic came around and the only thing that could save you were selfie sticks.
That's great. It's really difficult wearing masks. If you wear glasses, it's almost impossible, isn't it?
Yeah.
My God, what's my dentist doing here?
Because you steam up. And I've just said the only way of getting around it, in you're having a conversation with someone, is to take them off during the out-breath and then put them on during the in-breath.
I was on a train last week for the first time in months, and I found that the mask thing has turned me into a Victorian lady because I was eating, as Victorian ladies do, a packet of skips on the train. and I would eat this, and I would eat the skip, and then I'd pull the thing across.
Get it.
And then load a few more skips in.
The Zoom thing is tricky, you know, as comedians, sometimes you have to do Zoom gigs, and I've come to hate them because you ever fart on Zoom and then the yellow box lights up?
You know, like there's a box on it, Dara, it says enhance your appearance, right? And a few weeks ago, again, absolutely true, I had to do a Zoom call with Russell Kane, and it was early in the morning, and he said to me, oh, you know there's a box you can tick that says enhance your appearance.
Oh.
I had ticked that box, Dara.
I feel like there's a pattern of bullying emerging here.
There is.
That's terrible. Have you thought about maybe changing your personality?
Was anyone doing homeschooling, by the way? Sorry, just
well, no, I'm too old for school.
You are.
But there's a solution here. Just furlough the children. Just have them out. Yeah, like the World War II evacuations. Yes. Have them home 20% of the time, 8% of the time, stick them in a field. totally fine.
Sorry, can you imagine being homeschooled by Dara? Not science again.
All he does, I bet all he does is dresses his kid up as robots and makes them fight each other.
But I like
Today in the home, you shall be circuit break. You shall be total lockdown. Fight! OK, why has the government clashed with MPs and mayors in the north of England?
Because the government has kind of put the north on tier 3 for being the friendliest part of the country.
Yes. No, tier 3 is a special prize we're giving you. Manchester wanted an extra 5 million, and they wouldn't give them an extra 5 million, which means the government has a very different policy when it comes to things that don't work. Will pay for test and trace, won't pay for waiters in Manchester. They have a very... I thought that joke was much better than it got.
Joke is a fact.
I feel all the bits were there, but yet it didn't add up to a joke. It's really irritating.
No, I thought you were saying something sincere. And at this time, like, you're never sure if people are being funny or sincere, so you always have to err on the side of, like, I'm so sorry for your loss.
I mean, it really doesn't help London MP's views of Northern MPs that he's wearing a cagoule to do this. It's seeing someone furious in a cagoule. Absolutely livid. I mean, it was pretty Manchester, though, wasn't it?
It is, to be fair, and I love Manchester.
It looks like he's
not unless he'd had the hood up with the furry bit around it.
He might as well have turned up at 6 a.m. on a bender just straight from the Hacienda. Popped on some sunglasses and gone, we're not fucking doing it, mate.
The thing I don't understand about all the tier system, I don't understand the risk system. I don't understand how it goes
I think it goes medium, high, very high, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So what happens to small? What happens to that? It's like they've based the whole thing on the cup sizes at Starbucks. And they really wanted to call the 3 risk levels tall, grande and venti, but they couldn't narrowing themselves to do it because it was too metropolitan. It's too
Yeah, I want to see my family back in Malaysia, but then they say when you land in Malaysia, you have to do a 2-week quarantine, and I'm like, how much do I really like my family?
I was in America when I had to come back when this whole thing got called. I was in America. I had to rush back from America.
Nora, we get it. You went to America. Okay.
Where were you going?
Where were you? I was in New York.
LA.
Anyway, it was pretty good. Anyway, had some meetings, did some shows. And I had to rush, but I had to rush. When I went, I thought, oh, God, they're not going to give me the ticket. They're not going to give me the ticket. I'm going to have to pretend it's really important to get back because I don't have a ticket for tonight. I've got a ticket for like a week's time, but I'm rushing back. And I said, look, is there any chance I've got a flight? Can you? And she said, of course. And I obviously made it too serious. I've got to get back. And she said, of course, right? And there are like 5 flights a night from New York back. And she gave me the first one, which left 25 minutes later. And she said, go now. And I couldn't go. No, I'd like to do some shopping first. Hoping to maybe get some dinner, hang out in the lounge maybe for a while, chat to the other guy. No, I better go now. And I had to run through the airport, race through the airport to get to the gate, stamp the thing. And so arrived, this is like March the 13th, arrived on the plane, buckets of sweat, getting onto the plane, looking like every COVID nightmare. Pouring off me, I'm out of... I'm breathing badly, I'm sweating, I'm going, oh, good thing we're on this tube. You and me sitting next to me.
It sounds like me. I'm going through the perimenopause right now. Nobody will sit next to me on the tube. I'm just hot flushes.
Yeah.
I'm having a great life. Life's brilliant.
Good, it's all come together 2020. That's
Earlier on, I said I was engaged. Nobody clapped and cheered. In America, they would.
Doesn't count now. Doesn't count.
Just patronising me now.
And the perimenopause, did you want a round of applause for that as well?
The perimenopause, it's really rubbish. It's a bit just before the menopause.
Right.
You know, like...
Is it too spicy?
Perimenopause.
No, that's the peri-menopause. Good point to Carl, Bettina and Reece. Now we play a round called Quarantines We'd Like to See. This game involved Nigel and Tom, so you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about a subject. OK, here we go. Our first topic, please. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is food. Can I have somebody come in on that? Nigel.
Yeah, I'm from Malaysia, and, food is a pretty big thing back there. Rice is a big staple, If you go to Malaysia, like 5 kilos, that's the smallest sack of rice you can get in a shop in Asia. Then you go to your Tesco's here, you seem to have the most adorable little sachets of 100-gram rice. Like, who's that for, a fly? I sent a photo of that to my mom. She was like, why are they selling the free samples? Why are they selling rice in cocaine bags? Every Asian household owns a rice cooker. Yeah, and I see you guys getting confused. When I say rice cooker, I don't mean you hire some Chinese guy. It's a device that makes rice perfect every time that you don't use here in the UK. I've seen how you guys make rice here. It's tragic. There's 2 main methods. Number 1, saucepan, right? You boil the rice and you stir it like a witch in the 1800s. Just... Sometimes it's still wet afterwards, so you strain it with a colander. If you aren't laughing now, you're thinking, isn't that what you're supposed to do? Second way, and the worst way of all, Uncle Ben's instant rice. The microwave stuff, beep, bing. Okay, that's enough Asian culture for me. Squeeze my lunch out of this pouch. Uncle Ben's has Indian rice, Mexican rice, Cantonese fried rice, but he's an old black guy. Why are we still buying that product? Would you buy Uncle Wong's jerk chicken? I wouldn't, and he's my real uncle. Also, don't put your phones in rice to dry them. it doesn't work and it pisses us off. We're nice enough to make those phones for you. Don't put it in our food, please. Thank you, guys. Nigel Leung, thank you.
OK, that leaves with Tom. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is parties.
Yes, this is exactly like all the parties I go to. My mum's got a friend called Joyce, and she likes to tell me about her. Once she said to me, Joyce has tried to do herself in. I said, oh, my God, how shocking. She said, yeah, we're all surprised, because she's only just had her kitchen done. But Joyce is a very old friend of the family. Like, I've known her for years. She's somebody who worries about everything. Like, she's got one of those faces that's always contorted into the look of panic, anger, and yet regret. So she's always walking around like this. And then sometimes she'll use her eyebrows to replace a word. So, like, once she said to me, oh, that woman next door, she's... Turned out the woman next door was a chiropractor. A little while ago, she decided to cheer herself up by getting her downstairs toilet done. Not a euphemism. She got this toilet done based on a toilet she'd seen at Gatwick Airport. It was her dream toilet. And then she decided to have a party to show it off, right? So we all got invited. Well, Mum and Dad got invited, and they said, we're not going to pay for a sitter. So I had to go as well. Joyce had tried to be organised for her party, and she'd done an online shop for the buffet. Trouble is, she'd never done an online shop before. She didn't understand about the amounts. Somehow she'd managed to order 8 kilograms of ham and 1 bag of salad. You've never seen so much ham in all your life, except for maybe in this performance, am I right? There was rolled ham, there was folded ham, there was ham sandwiches where the bread was ham. And I'm at this party, and they're all the friends are very desperate to let me know that they're down with the gays. They're good with the gays. At one point, Joyce came over to me and said, now, Tom, tell me, when did you first know that you was... And I said, well, I've never been a chiropractor.
Well done, both of you. How can I decide? Points for everyone. Come on, sit down. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So, what's going on here?
Yeah. In preparation for his debate with Trump, Joe Biden is practicing talking to a brick wall.
Is this the lowest budget Madame Tussauds in history?
Is he saying, is this the internet?
I'm meant to be in a live debate, but somebody told me this was the way to the stage, and then they locked the door.
Is he going, I don't know why, but I've got a feeling this room might be tapped.
I've got no idea, but that room looks like a nightmare to paint.
Is this where he goes to get recharged before the debate?
This is a picture of Biden with all his childhood friends who are still alive. What, too much for a topical news show?
I know he's only 77, but he really does have the world's most complicated catheter, doesn't he?
What is going on, though?
He's discovered the pipes to Trump's spray tan tank. That's Joe Biden. He's standing in the US presidential election, which happens every 4 years.
You're absolutely right. Thank you very much. What do you make of Joe Biden as a candidate?
I could make maybe a chair.
Yeah.
He is only narrowly ahead in the polls.
I know.
Right, which is quite upsetting, isn't it? That you can only be narrowly ahead of Donald Trump when you consider that I think if you threw a pepperami into a Wetherspoons, you'd probably hit somebody who'd be a better president.
But that's his only selling point, that he's not Trump. Like, a tin of carnation milk is not Trump. I think that's why we're struggling, because what else is he? Just an old guy should be shielding, really.
They're both so old. It's funny, both Trump and Biden think they're each other's rivals, you know? Like, Biden 77, Trump 74. Their only common rival is winter.
It's a 77-year-old versus a 74-year-old. Why don't they just settle this like most American men with a game of checkers in the park, OK?
Here's some things, unlikely things that Donald Trump has been compared to recently. Here's Donald Trump as a pork scratching. Here's Donald Trump as a piece of frozen tuna. And here's a genuine caterpillar. Which distant family member has been supporting Joe Biden?
Oh, I love this. Right, he's got a third cousin in Ireland, Joe Biden, right, who has been on the campaign trail in Ireland, where it literally doesn't matter, but his name is Joe Blewett.
Yeah.
Worst name for your cheerleader. It's like a cheerleader called, I don't know, Jane, you dropped it, you idiot. Joe Blewett.
I think they must be scraping the bottom of the barrel if they need this guy to be an endorsement for Biden, you know?
Well, they don't think this is the thing that'll win it for him. Whoever Joe Blewett says, he's very much the bellwether state. Whatever way Joe goes on the day. I mean, Joe was all Hillary and then at the last minute panicked and went Trump. And then, but look, as family members go, there's Joe Blewett, but are there other family members who are making things slightly more difficult than
his
Joe?
son. His son.
Oh, yeah.
Hunter Biden.
Yes.
Who's been accused of all sorts.
You can't be a good guy with a name like Hunter, can you?
No, it's not a name that inspires...
Yeah, he was the worst gladiator.
But also, should you be responsible for your children's actions? I tell you what, if Joe Biden loses the election because of the actions of his dodgy son, then the Queen can hand her bloody crown in and all.
As my dad always says, you can't judge a man based on his son. Very old saying, it's very true.
Meanwhile, how's Boris done in the last 6 months?
He's done a magnificent...
There's that balance the BBC's been looking forward to. And what did Boris Johnson threaten to pull out of?
Was it no woman he's ever been inside?
Oh, Zoom went for that in a big way.
Are there more than 8?
Yes, there are. There's other Zoom people who we just popped a few of them on food.
Right.
Yeah. So there's Johnny Camera too low at the start. Then there's Billy. I'm not really in San Francisco. You can see the picture flickering around my ears.
The guy who's uplit like he's reading like a horror story out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Three.
Terrifying.
Oh,
yeah, he is. He's shifting uncomfortably as well, actually, because he knows the camera. The camera flicks around, we see a body suspended from the ceiling. He's giving us a tour now.
What? His
What do
face
you
is covered in
ask?
black
What
sack.
desk is that? What is he?
It's the gallery here, isn't it?
Wait a second. He's the guy working on the show. You're watching the show. You're supposed to be working on the show. Oh, for God's sake.
It looks like he might be in the International Space Station.
Hang on, I wanted to talk about the fact that during the lockdown at the moment, Tier 2, you're not allowed to have any kind of carnal relations with people outside of your house.
Yes,
Well, that's very difficult for single people who live with their parents. It basically is life imitating art, isn't it? Because you cannot have sex with your partner, but you can have sex with a tradesperson. It's like you have to wait for a plumber to come round. It's feeling a bit low.
You just remind me that I've got pest control coming round next week.
Oh,
I'm very excited now.
Isn't sex banned, like, indoors for couples who live apart?
Yeah.
You know?
Currently.
Now I have to bring my blow-up dolls to the park. Ugh.
So you live in a different house to your blow-up dolls?
Yeah. Too many then, sorry.
If one respects one's blow-up dolls, one pays the rent and looks after them. They have dreams too. I'm funding them through college at the moment. Do you want to be a dancer?
Yeah.
Squeak, squeak. Or would you like to work in cyber? Okay, at the end of the point to the top, Tia and Reeves. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is commercials that never made it to air.
Do you have a crippling addiction to masturbation and biscuits? Try working from home.
This sofa is full price.
Want to get compliments on how much weight you've lost? Buy a massive pair of trousers and stand like this all the time.
If you like clouds and you like oceans, we've got both. Sky Atlantic.
8 out of 10 cats prefer your neighbour's house. Cats are traitors.
Fire in the hole! Try Caniston.
We sell our turkeys in wooden coffins so that you can pretend it's a funeral and have 30 people round for Christmas.
This advert cost hundreds of thousands of pounds to make. Please don't skip it in 3, 2, 1, you fucking bastard.
Bat soup. The delicious taste of 6 months off.
Airbnb. Yes, that is your sofa in that porn film.
There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's theft.
Please, please buy our product. We really need to buy our product. We're going to go under if you don't buy our product. We are Corona Lager.
Superdry. Conveniently named after the effect wearing it has on women.
Ryanair. Not just an airline, it's also the name of our cheapest sandwich. Rye and air.
Poundland condoms. You get what you pay for, yeah?
Rhys James, because Ed Gamble's busy.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a sci-fi movie.
We're going to have to put Gotham City into lockdown. Someone ate Batman.
Luke, I'm not your father, but I can be your daddy.
Don't worry, we put you in cryogenic suspension to make the journey more bearable. It's amazing technology, but it does make Megabus slightly more expensive.
OK, prep the rice chamber. Someone dropped R2-D2 in the toilet and I want to piss off Nigel.
Everyone, set your devices to stun, because I've got this fabulous new hat.
Luke, I am your father. Well, I'm Boris Johnson, so the odds are pretty good.
How can we tell you're not a robot? Hold up. Which of these squares contain a traffic light?
We come in peace. Yeah, that's all very well and good, but we've got a points-based immigration system. Can you pick fruit with your tentacles?
Oh, no! It took my eyes! I can't see! But I'll just drive to Barnard Castle, make sure.
I don't care if you're a Dalek, you have to check in with the app.
The Overlord is pure evil, and he just doesn't care. He knows that every time he presses his buzzer, a child dies.
I just can't do it, Captain! I don't have the power! You're in neutral?
E.T., just text home. Nobody phones anymore. You're so embarrassing.
I'll tell you what, I just got it. Ryanair.
OK, I'm going to beam myself down to the surface of the planet. Oh, it's so hot! It's hot! It's molten hot! Why didn't no one tell me?
Sorry, don't honey me. You've shrunk the kids.
Master Luke, I'm afraid the ship's crew have refused to go any further until they've had smashed avocado on toast. I knew we shouldn't have tried to get home in the Millennial Falcon.
The crew refused to go home till they've had avocado on toast. We shouldn't have... Oh, I can't do it either. You know what? It's harder than it looks, and I've gained a lot of respect for you, Angela.
Ryanair.
At the end of that round, the points go to Tom, Rosina and Reese. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Nigel Ang, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. Commiserations to Reese James, Tina Kuglenyu and Tom Allen. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining me this week are Ed Gamble, Maisie Adam and Ishan Akbar, Sophie Duker, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. As we continue to do this programme under COVID regulations, all of our panellists are enclosed in Perspex presentation boxes. And the best one can be taken home by the audience tonight and put on your mantelpiece. The audience are themselves sitting in what appear to be socially distanced seats, but they're not. They just don't like each other. And supplementing that tough crowd, we have a series of people who are happy to show us their homes as a Zoom crowd. Hello, the Zoom crowd. Good to have you here. We start tonight with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Sophie, which category would you like?
Could I please have home news?
OK, Grant, your topic is home news. The answer is 17 days. What is the question?
Is it how long you can drink milk past its sell-by date if you're a legend?
Is it, what is the average length of a school term?
What's the fastest ever contact tracing time on the COVID app?
Is it, according to the Tories, how long can a poor child make one apple last?
Is it Joe Biden's life expectancy?
Is it how much of April did I spend staring at a sourdough starter?
Is it, if I'm honest, how many days of Ramadan have I actually observed my whole life?
Don't tell me that.
Is it, given my 1-star customer rating, how long have I been waiting for Uber to connect me to a driver?
Is it how long does Boris Johnson's sperm survive inside the womb?
That is hardy sperm, isn't it?
Is it how long after I've shaved my pubes do my genitals stop looking like a fat man with his face pressed up again?
Does anyone have the correct answer, please?
Is it the Welsh firebreaker lockdown?
It is absolutely. Thank you very much. Sophie Duker, you're absolutely correct. Thank you. Yes, the question I was looking for was how long is the so-called firebreaker lockdown being enforced in Wales? This is news that Wales has controversially imposed a lockdown until the 9th of November in order to try and slow the spread of coronavirus. During this time, people are barred from leaving their homes apart from exercise, buying supplies or providing care, and only essential goods can be sold. Why has the move angered Welsh shoppers, for example?
Because they can't go shopping.
And that is central to what Welsh shoppers do. You can't stop those Welsh shoppers shopping.
No, you can't. Because you can only buy essential items, can't you?
Yes.
In a pandemic, you cannot buy someone a Get Well card in Wales.
I think the way they decided was they make all these different products go past you on a sort of travelator, and then the ones you remember, you're allowed to buy.
One essential item is stationery. You're not allowed to buy stationery.
No, they all move past you.
That's mad, though, that hair services, hair salons have been defined as non-essential. I mean, look what I did to my hair in lockdown. And you're telling me they're not essential. This shouldn't have been allowed to happen.
Maisie, did your hairdresser go into lockdown halfway through your haircut?
It does feel like it was midway through and you got a call from your agent going, no, the Mad Max film has been cancelled.
It's the thing you let your children do to you when they're bored.
OK,
you know?
I think we can move on now.
Look, go back to the shopping. The thing that's quite intriguing with this is magazines are essential, books apparently non-essential. Among the essential items, alcohol was regarded as essential and is always held up by people going, oh, but you didn't stop alcohol.
This is the thing. There was a supermarket that sanitary products were not essential. Yet when you look at what the essential ones, it was definitely a list that was compiled by a man, because it was like beer, bacon, condoms, FIFA 21.
Yeah, it's just some bloke going, never mind periods, what about my period? I think people are more on board with it because it's called Firebreaker.
Yeah.
Deliberately picked a firebreaker. I think we could do it here if we called it, like, Dragon Cock Laser Attacker.
You're not allowed into Wales, are you?
You're not allowed into Wales. No, even if you're Welsh, you're not allowed into Wales now. Police are actually on the border stopping people going in or out.
What happens if you fly over Wales? Do they shoot you down with an anti-aircraft missile?
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
Oh, big steely bird.
One of the amazing things that happened in Wales, though, is that there was a cinema that had its toilets in England, but the cinema was in Wales.
Yeah.
And I love that you have to go to England for a wee. Like, you get up and someone's like, is it a tier 1 or a tier 2?
Business being forced to close include beauty salons, car dealerships, auction houses, nightclubs, strip clubs, which, you know, I got to say is unfortunate. Nothing for the small business owner like myself. Just in March, unfortunately, I put all of my money into a strip club in Cork called Super Spreaders. And that name has backfired.
I have to say, though, with people having to wear face coverings and, like, pubs having to close early and they've set up checkpoints, I'm just really happy that finally, Sharia law has arrived.
Can I just say one thing?
You can say one thing, yeah.
Cashier number 2, please.
Is the boxing in beginning to get
it's beginning to get.
Why do they do that in such a jaunty voice? I always find them queuing up in the post office. It just seems they've really put an effort. Cashier number 3. And every time it's supposed to be a bit of a surprise. You're expecting cashier number 2. It's not. How should we go into lockdown? I mean, they've gone into lockdown as a precautionary matter. Would you be willing to do another lockdown? Ready for another lockdown here?
There is something to be said for some of the restrictions. You know, the fact that we've had to social distance, the fact that we couldn't leave our houses. I didn't brush my teeth for 3 weeks.
Do you think we will go back into lockdown? It does seem quite likely, doesn't it? Because everybody's very competitive. So the Welsh have now got Firebreak, haven't they? And we're talking about Circuit Breaker. And the Scots have got extra tiers, haven't they? They've gone even harsher, haven't they?
It's an arms
so they
race
go up to tier. They've gone up to tier 5. So up to tier 4, it's about the same as ours. But tier 5, it's got different restrictions on movement. So in tier 5, Nicola Sturgeon just stares at you, and you're not allowed to move until she turns round.
There's a curious thing, the way they've done it. That, you know, we've got 3 tiers in England, and then Scotland's gone, right, we'll have 5, and then not content with having 5 versus 3, they're gone, but ours is going to start at 0.
The reason is because level 5 is independence.
Free of the infection of English people.
Yes.
But once again, though, 5 tiers, 5 pillars. I told you, Sharia's here to stay.
is creeping Sharia.
I just want to see Northern Ireland just step into the war. I just want to see, like, you know, England goes 3 and Wales goes, and then Scotland goes 4 tiers, and I just 5 tiers, and I just love the idea of Northern Ireland going, right, fuck it, we're doing 10.
Only Protestants get to go to tier 9. Meanwhile, what will you soon be able to get on British high streets in just 12 minutes?
Laid.
Is this the £12 COVID test?
It's not £12.
No, 12 minutes.
It's a 12-minute COVID test, and it's Boots who are proposing this. There's a 12-minute check to be able to get it to see if you're positive for coronavirus. It costs £120 to be available in selected shops.
Boots are going to offer you a test to see if you have a virus that could drain the life out of you and stop you from seeing your friends, right? I thought they did pregnancy tests.
I think Boots is a good place to get it, though. You get a lot of advantage points. 480 advantage points with a £120 COVID test.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you do get a deadly virus, but you also get the electric toothbrush you've always wanted.
If Dominic Cummings went to Boots, he could have got a positive test and then an eye test without getting on the...
At the end of the round, the points go to Ed, Maisie and Isha. Now we play a round called Free School Meal of News. This game involves Sophie and Ishan, so if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First subject is anger. Who wants to come in on that? Sophie.
I got so angry during lockdown, even about things that were meant to be good. I got angry about Eat Out to Help Out, a government initiative that briefly delighted feminists everywhere before we realised it was actually about Wagamamas. I'm mainly angry about really, really petty shit. I'm angry about cyberbullying, but I'm angry specifically that people send me emails and in those emails use the phrase, "Nice to meet you." How can it be nice to meet me when they don't even know me? Or people say they're angry about huge things like climate change, and of course I'm generally angry about climate change, but I'm angry specifically at the fact that they keep giving deadly hurricanes little old lady names. Like Katrina, Ophelia, Laura, Doris. Doris, guys, I know about the naming conventions of storms, but every time a storm causes devastation overseas and it's got a white man's name, I'm like, fair. Doris was like your granny walking in and being like, "I'm one bad nana." I get angry at heat waves, specifically British heat waves, because I feel like British people get absolutely feral whenever the temperature's anything above 17 degrees. People change in the heat. You see them in Sainsbury's just sort of panic buying Calippos. People getting onto public transport wearing like a 3-piece suit and sandals. The worst thing about a heat wave is that you get these old geezers with the body confidence of Kardashians. They go out into the parks, they find the best spot, they lie down, they strip off, they lube up, they lie there in the rays like uncooked gingerbread men. Just looking up at the sun going, "Bake me!" People don't think I get angry because I'm adorable, but I do. I get so angry all the time, but I can never show it because I know that if I show it, I'll get stereotyped as an angry black woman. And I don't want to be stereotyped, so at the end of the day, I just hold my anger in and eat fried chicken and twerk furiously.
Thank you very much, Sophie. OK, that leaves with Ishan. Let's see where your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is health.
Obviously. Just to let you know, so I actually have a hearing impairment. That's my hearing aid, which means when I go for a job interview, I can see an HR manager going, tick, tick. Please be gay, please be gay, please be gay. Ridiculous, right? They're not the only ones that do weird shit when they find out I'm deaf, right? The other day I was walking down the road, this guy walked past me, he noticed my hearing aid. This is all he yelled out. "Oi! Bluetooth wanker!" It's not a Bluetooth earpiece. Or the other one I get is, "Oh, Ishan, it's so interesting that you're deaf because I think I'm actually a bit deaf too. What do I do with this information? You can't do that with any other disability, can you? You can't go up to someone in a wheelchair and say, mate, when I drink too much, my legs feel a bit wobbly as well. You can't... But also, I feel like deafness is one of those disabilities that doesn't get the respect it deserves. Like, I don't feel like I can get the same benefits as other disabled people. Like, I can't legitimately enter the Paralympics, can I? There's blind football, wheelchair basketball. A deaf race would be a line of men just waiting to start. It's not all bad, though, because my deafness actually makes me eligible for a disabled person's rail card, which has been really useful these last 6 months, right? And I'll be honest, when I got it, I thought, do you know what? Because deaf people don't get the same benefits as other people, I'm going to try and make sure I get as many of them as I can, right? So I thought I'd try and get myself a blue badge, right? So I walked into the local council office, a bit too ably. And the guy behind the counter, he took one look at me and was like, oh, my God, yes, come on over. I was like, wow, this guy's so good. He knows how disabled I am, and he's beckoning me over, right? So he beckoned me over, he sat me down, and he pulled out a form. And the form, you have to tick the reason why you're giving someone a blue badge, right? And he ticks off weight-related mobility issues. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dishan. OK, at the end of that round, the Forest Grille Trophy. Come on. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So what's going on here?
Oh, this is the first time that Boris with Wood has not ended in pregnancy.
Is this Boris's YouTube video, How to Screw Things Up?
Is this the answer to the question, what do you get if you cross a tool with a drill?
Is this Boris just going, I'll show you strong and stable, Theresa?
This is a massive plank holding a piece of wood.
This is a tongue twister, isn't it? It's how many flat packs can a fat prick pack if a fat brick can't flat pack?
I think since hiring Dominic Cummings as an advisor, this is the closest Boris has felt to actually wielding power.
Oh, that is such a wise quip.
Is this a month from the 2021 Conservative calendar, Tories and power tools?
I've got a suspicion he's staple gunned his knee to the wood.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if this is a picture of him dismantling a Santa's grotto.
Is it Boris saying, here I am with my German drill and this plank made from Norwegian pine next to some Italian steel to say British industry can go it alone?
Is the correct answer, by the way?
Is Boris Johnson.
It is indeed Boris Johnson. Thank you very much, Hugh. Very good. This is a recent picture of Boris Johnson, who has been facing pressure on a number of fronts this week. What latest issue is Johnson under pressure to U-turn on?
Free school meals,
Yes,
as illustrated by him holding a piece of wood. Why are we doing this picture?
Because it's very difficult to get... Boris, could you pose as if you're not... Could you pose taking food off a child? Could you not? Just one shot of you taking the food, and the child going, like a child holding, like, Oliver Twist, and Boris going, no.
The Tories have now given up any level of pretense of not being Disney-level villains, haven't they? Like, I'm waiting for their zero-tolerance Dalmatian policy.
Now, obviously, by the way, you know, there was a lot of debate over the summer about balance in the BBC and us having to, you know, reflect that. So maybe the kids aren't that hungry.
I mean, you can't get a fairer thing than the idea of giving food to poor kids, right? And they've managed to... Because I understand when they say things like, well, we can't give them money because they'll buy drugs with it. But they've literally... A Tory MP has said that he knows that if you give them food, they could use that to buy drugs with. Like, seriously, like, what goes on in boarding schools in this country? Oh, good, a food parcel. Oh, some humbug, but I'll swap it for some China White.
Go ahead. Yeah, it's called Tuck for Smack, and it's very popular.
OK, has there been a backlash to this?
Marcus Rashford.
Marcus Rashford, yes, has.
I feel like Marcus Rashford has to be protected at all costs. He's amazing. I say his name at the point of climax, and it's the only way my partner can come.
I'm a Leeds fan, and it's really quite frustrating when somebody from a team that you're meant to hate does something absolutely beautiful and wonderful and amazing. I swear to God, like, if Millwall end up donating their salary to charity, I'm out of football for good. Like.
It's done great things for the image of footballers, because I think him doing this has made up for at least 8 of the rapists.
Marcus Rashford was promoting then, amplifying, as they say, all the businesses who are working with Fair Share, which is a charity which is doing this, supplying meals to families. Which major fast food chain also joined in?
McDonald's.
McDonald's did, yes. And
McDonald's are doing a Boris Isn't Happy meal.
I think it's amazing. The Tories have got to take a really long, hard look at themselves if they're beaten to the moral high ground by McDonald's. You know, who's going to get there next? Skeletor and the hyenas from Lion.
Do you know who I feel most sorry for in all of this? Jamie Oliver. He must be seething.
Yeah, piss off, Rashford. I'm Mr. Healthy Meal for the kids.
Moving on, OK. What's going on here?
This is me and my homies going to the sperm bank.
They are actually very lucky to get this shot at all, because this is Zanussi's new walking, talking washing machine.
Jones, I know I don't take part in these rounds, but it does look like somebody bleached the Minions.
This is the state of dogging in 2020.
Is it going for a walk in Tier 5?
It looks like someone's bleached the Minions.
Dara, guess which one of those is going to get used?
It's hideous! That's industrial espionage, essentially.
Little do you know, there's a volcano just there, and this is actually how they make lava lamps.
It looks like someone's bleached the Minions.
Stop it.
I'm just giving them options, Dara.
Is this the wedding party at my big fat Muslim wedding?
Guys, you know Ishan is Muslim, right? You've all been reacting like I said, though.
Just say, on the left of the picture, that is a very odd place to put a yellow heated towel rail.
Is this the reception at my big fat Muslim wedding?
I tell you what, it looks like someone's bleached the Minion. That's a choice of 3.
Or, at least allow me into the choice.
I'm quite glad to see that the COVID restrictions haven't hit the porn industry too hard. But it does look a bit like someone's bleached them.
I am never joining in again. That's it. 15 years I waited to join in. I finally joined in, and you just bullied me out of it. From here on in, I'll just do the buzz. That's all I do. That's my life. Does anyone tell us what it actually is?
It could be 2 things. Either. I think this is a story about America, where they found a massive hornet's nest, which there's a sort of Asian type of hornet which has made its way into North America.
Could be that.
They've got rid of with a vacuum thing, or someone has bleached.
OK, that's the end of that round. Points go to Ed, Hugh and Sophie. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a thriller.
You're not going to believe what they've done. They've bleached the Minions.
My joke!
Do you care for a game, 007? Dinosaur top trumps?
We've put charges here and here. No one will be able to get into central London without paying.
I won't let you die on me! So I'm just going to roll you onto the floor. You can die down there.
Should I cut the red wire? No, Bond, it's just my tampon.
You want £250,000 now and another £250,000 when the job is done? Come on, mate, it's only a boiler.
We are going to find this so-called blowjob killer, and when we do, he's going down for a very long time.
It's going to explode at any minute. Well, it's your daughter's nappy. You change it.
The British Secret Service may have M, but we have someone twice as good. Eminem.
The first rule of Fight Club is scan the QR code on entry.
Look, we can't talk for long because we're both female characters.
Vodka martini. Shaken. Not... Actually, this is my 6th one, so I don't give a fuck if you make it in a blender.
It goes off in 10 seconds. You will never stop me. Oh, you've put it on snooze.
Look, it's really tough out there because of the pandemic, so we're going to have to put you on furlough leave on 80% of what you're worth. So 007, you're now 005.6.
I don't know which wire to cut. So, look, this is my first vasectomy.
What's the cause of death? Well, I think a lot of this blood is actually supposed to be inside his body.
Mr. Bond, I am a high-level government advisor. Don't assume I'm going to sleep with you just because my name is Breasty Lovecock.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear in a nature show.
Now we see the fastest predator on land, Prince Andrew running from American lawyers.
And as I watch these birds begin their mating ritual, I know that I'm really making full use of my Pornhub subscription.
I cannot believe it. Someone has bleached the minions.
Sperm whales. Could they be the reason the sea is so salty?
Here is the Indian elephant being asked by its mother why it hasn't met a nice girl yet.
The mighty bear emerges from hibernation. Time to get back on Grindr.
The male snake will shed its skin up to 12 times a year, all because it thinks moisturising is a bit girly.
As of 2020, the global population is 7.8 billion people. And you're still single.
The Serengeti, home to absolutely shitloads of animals.
Thanks to the wonders of modern technology, we can now translate what these penguins are saying into English. Let's listen in. Bloody hell, it's cold!
The owl's head can rotate 720 degrees before coming off in your hands.
I mean, just look at that massive fuck-off herd of elephants!
It is over. The hippo has won and the flamingo retreats. Because, frankly, He hasn't got a leg to stand on.
Just look at all those rhinos! Endangered my hole!
Well, it turns out a bull in a china shop wasn't as dramatic as we thought. But join us next week when I'll be putting a cat amongst some pigeons.
At just 3 microns, it is almost invisible to the human eye. Yep, I've got a tiny penis.
And in the first episode, we're going to be taking an intimate look at how it builds its dams. Yeah, I'm as disappointed as you. Anyway, welcome to Inside the Beaver.
At the end of that, the point to Ed Mays-Inishan. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Ishan Akbar, Maisie Adam and Ed Gamble. Commiseration is Sophie Duker, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. Thanks for watching. I'm Darragh Breen. Good night. And welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Darragh Breen. Joining me this week are Maisie Adam, Ed Gamble, Suk Ojla, Mark Simmons, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. As ever, we record under COVID limitations. All of our panellists are surrounded by Perspex. Our audience are still with us because this is just before the full lockdown resumed. So they're here for the last time, and we have our Zoom crowd as well. Lovely to have you here, my Zoom crowd. Big round of applause to you. Very good. We start tonight with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Suk, which category would you like?
World news, please, Darragh.
OK, world news it is. The answer is 14 billion. What is the question?
Is it the current price of a Freddo?
I'm not sure of the regulations anymore, but is this how many people can you meet outside?
Is it, in a briefing, on average, how many times does Professor Chris Whitty say, next slide, please?
Is it how many sperm would I waste over lockdown 2?
Is it how many unanswered texts did Dara send Brian Cox when they announced there was water on the moon?
Is it how many times the James Bond film's going to be rescheduled?
Is it after Eat Out to Help Out, how many chili points did Rishi Sunak have on his Nando's card?
Is it how many children would I have if socks could get pregnant?
Is it how many people have been missed by track and trace?
Is it how old is Joe Biden?
What is the highest tier in Scotland?
Is it Prince Philip's car insurance premium?
Is it how many votes will Donald Trump claim to have received?
How many uses can I get out of a single-use mask?
that from here.
OK, I'm going to move you towards a correct answer, if we can, please.
Is it how much money was spent on the US election this year?
Absolutely right. Thank you very much. Bert. Yes, the question I was looking for was, what was the estimated cost of this year's American elections? This is the news that spending across the 2020 US federal elections almost doubled the amount spent in 2016, making it the most expensive American elections in history. Now, obviously, to say this, we're recording this on Tuesday evening. Just to add to the many fantastic difficulties of doing this show at the moment, we're recording it when the election hasn't actually finished, although it will be broadcast on Thursday when it has. So these questions are grammatically difficult. So my first question is, will have had the election that will happen? And why?
Well, I'll cover a broad base, just so we're covered. That old man won, and a lot of people were angry.
OK.
It's going to be terrible for Trump psychologically, because he'll have lost to a 77-year-old. And he himself is 74, isn't
yes.
So they call it the presidential election, but effectively, it's the Antiques Roadshow.
If he wins, you know, they'll accuse us of having underestimated Trump. But it's not that. We just overestimated Americans.
It's amazing they're spending so much more than us on elections, and they still might end up with a horny blonde idiot with coronavirus.
There is a lot of discussion about the 14 billion, which is only marginally more than the UK test and trace system. But the elections will deliver our result,
yes,
which is more than the UK test and trace system has. So how did they ramp up their campaigns?
He did 4 rallies in a day in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's incredible. He's got an energy of a racist half his age.
There's something quite Liam Gallagher about that, isn't there? He just looks like he's got fuck off, Noel.
I think Biden is definitely the best person to take over because he's got a lot more experience with pandemics, having lived through cholera, the plague, and whatever killed the dinosaurs.
Who joined Joe Biden on the campaign trail?
Obama.
Obama did, yes, he did, yeah. What did we see Obama do?
He threw a basketball into a net, and it was very impressive.
He didn't just throw a basketball into a net, though.
No.
He threw a basketball into a net, and instantly I was pregnant.
At the risk of giving you twins, we're going to show it again.
That's what I do!
Oh, my Lord!
Oh, yeah. I definitely felt something there.
Is he for real? The best thing about that as well is Joe Biden at the end. Just you can so see he's like, I wish I could do that. Yeah. The reality is that if you had Joe Biden doing a sport and then being like, that's what I do, it'd be just him doing like lawn bowls, going, that's what I do.
Do you think he took him aside after that and went, well, next time, will you let old Grandpappy get one too? You might make him look cool.
What, you think he should lift him up? Yeah. You can dunk now, Joe. Don't put it in.
Get me in now.
We're up to the last time then. What's going on here?
He's probably going, this is the actual deal I did with the devil.
Is he going, when you're famous, you can just grab them by the pages?
Is this him with a list of his outstanding sexual assault allegations?
I wouldn't say they're outstanding.
He's probably saying it, and then we put all these Democrat votes in the shredder. It's probably what he's saying.
This is him showing off the copy of the Constitution that he wipes his arse on.
The sequel to Mean Girls, and this is his burn book. Is it him going, Joe Biden is an ugly skank?
Do not trust him.
Meanwhile, what did presidential candidate Kanye West get for his wife Kim Kardashian for her 40th birthday?
Oh, this is mad. a hologram
Of her dad.
of her dead dad.
Yes! You put it like that, it sounds wrong.
I mean, he's so arrogant that he brought back her dead dad to say that he was a genius.
Yes. This is part of the speech done by the hologram of Robert Kardashian.
You married the most genius man in the whole world, Kanye West.
Not his actual words, scripted for the dead man by Kanye West. It's the weirdest...
It's so mad. It's so mad. If you were going to be speaking as Robert Kardashian, like, if I'd have made that hologram, I would have made him apologise for getting OJ off. Oh, I'm sorry, too soon. Move on.
Don't you think, though, that Dead Dad Hologram is the album David Bowie never made?
It'd be great to win arguments. I think everyone should get a hologram of their partner's dead dad. Go like, it's your turn to do the washing up, and if you don't believe me, listen to your dead father.
Oh.
He's right.
Why don't you just make a glove puppet of your partner's dead father? What's that? Mary's dad?
Oh, Mary could do more around the house. And should be allowed to go for drinks with his friends.
She's a great disappointment to me.
Don't put me back in the box. Don't put me back in the box. You're going back in the box, Mary's dad.
If it hadn't been for that heart attack, I would have died of shame and
Can I just say, I think it's quite nice. I think she should be allowed to grieve her dead dad as she chooses to, you know. I would have loved to have heard my dad say, I'm proud of you. You know, he's not dead.
In other news, what have Dutch scientists created using a 3D printer?
This, I think, is the world's smallest boat.
It is the world's smallest boat. Yes, they made a nano boat.
They've made a nano boat which can go along in your body. But the weird thing about this story is that this boat is made in the shape of a tiny tug. And you think it's going through veins and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a tiny little tugboat. It's like a 3 microns in length, like 3/100 of a millimetre.
I tell you what, Priti Patel is not going to like that sneaky little boat, is she?
No.
Oh, she won't like that.
No.
She'll have to hire a borrower to be a new immigration officer.
It's like the most literal way of having a tug and getting some semen out.
Oh, come on, actually, you know, we're a bit more highbrow here, mate.
Do you think if it sinks like the Titanic and then the band plays heroically as it's going down, it will be like the world's smallest violin having a really sarcastic response to its own death?
A few years ago, I was going to sail around the globe in the world's smallest ship, but I bottled it.
At the end of that round, the boys go to Maisie, Ed and Sue. Now we play a round called Biden Into My DMs. This game involves Mark and Maisie, so if you could make your way into the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's have our first subject, please. And the first subject is lockdown. Who wants to come in? Maisie.
Yep, as you can tell by my haircut, I dealt with the first lockdown really well. really well. What's it called? Business at the front. Where the hell's the back? I spent lockdown and lived with my boyfriend and my brother, which is an interesting combination. Obviously, love them both very, very much. I feel like I should also acknowledge that they are two different people, by the way. They're two very different people. In fact, they couldn't be more different. I was trying to think of the only thing they have in common, and I realised it's that at some point in their life, they have both had a bath with me. Obviously, one was very erotic, and the other one he pooed in. Ruined Valentine's Day. But one of the pros of lockdown has been that me and my boyfriend, we've been able to have our evenings back together, which is nice. And as a result of that, there's been a lot more jiggery-pokery going on. And so to make sure it doesn't get bland, to keep it spicy, I decided to go and buy some sexy lingerie. I say I bought sexy lingerie. I went and bought a pair of knickers that matched a bra I already had. But that's because sexy lingerie is expensive. It's really expensive, right? You can tell because when you read the labels, they all sound like very posh sports. I decided to buy this lingerie. Took out a 3-year loan to get it, and do you know what? It took me that long to put on. I was in the bathroom for ages trying to get it on. There was straps this way, straps that way. By the end, I looked like a pork joint in a butcher's window. But I'm there, trying to psych myself up, right, going, you're sexy, I've got the moisturiser on, I've put my sexy playlist on. I was like, Alexa, play Aubergine Emoji playlist. Right, I was in the zone. In the zone. I was like, come on. I walked into the bedroom, my boyfriend, he saw me, his jaw dropped to the floor and he went, wow, that is coming straight off. I said, it's chuffing not! So this is a treat, and you need to appreciate it as such. When you go to a restaurant and you have the posh item, you have the expensive item, let's say you have the £40 steak tartare, you don't wolf it down like a burger. You take your time with it, you savour it, you appreciate what you're having. And I am not a wimpy burger, Michael. I am a £40 steak tartare. But apparently, by the time I've explained all that, the moment's gone. But in fairness to him, it might not be the rant that put him off, because in all fairness to him, he has had to get used to banging, essentially, a back-to-front Joe Exotic.
Thank you very much, Maisie. OK, that leaves us with Mark. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is jobs.
So I don't really like the people that work at the train station. They can be a bit annoying. I went there the other day, went up to the desk, I said to the man, can I have a cheap ticket to London, please? He said, it's peak time. I said, OK. Can I have a cheap ticket to London, please? I used to work in a cinema. This one day I was supposed to start work at 9, got there at 9:30. Boss was angry, came over, he said, Mark, you're late, I want you to make the time up. I said, OK, it's 9. I was on the ice cream counter, guy came up, he asked for 1 scoop and sauce. I said, Rihanna's pregnant, and my mate Steve told me. At the age of 30, I was a Virgin Air steward, working for British Airways. So my father worked 12 hours a day to put food on the table. Great dad, slow cook. So a few years ago, all of my family predicted what we thought my sister would end up doing for a living. And it turns out she works for a sex chat line. Yep, I called it. My girlfriend's not very supportive of my job. The other day, she was like, Mark, all your jokes are all made up rubbish. Why talk about something real? Don't know what she's on about. And you've got a girlfriend.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. At the end of the round, the points go to Maisie. Come back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what's going on here?
Is he saying, sorry, no, I said I wanted to sustain an election?
Is he saying, I've actually turned over a new leaf as a pharmacist. Come and get your flu vaccination.
I thought he was saying that this is actually very good anti-Semitism. I mean, antiseptic.
Is he saying some drugs are class, eh?
Is he saying, have you got any domestos? I've got some minions that need bleaching.
He's saying, with these Duracell batteries, you can make racism allegations go on and on.
Is he saying that whilst he believes these symptoms exist, the doctor has dramatically overstated his symptoms for political reasons?
You can't actually see his legs, but he's in boots.
It's not that, no.
Is he the only white pharmacist in this country?
Do I have the correct answer?
That is Jeremy Corbyn, who has been suspended from the Labour Party.
Indeed, it is. Thank you very much, Hugh. Yes. Yes, it's a picture of Jeremy Corbyn, the former leader of the opposition, who was suspended from the Labour Party this week. Why was he suspended?
Because he didn't walk back his comments. Basically, he said that when the result of the EHRC's findings was that they breached anti-Semitism rules, and his response was that it's been overstated, it's been exaggerated.
Exaggerated, yes. Just a tone. Look, I know we're going to get grief of all the people who are big fans of Jeremy Corbyn over this, but there is an element of say sorry to your brother. Say sorry to your brother, and you say sorry for hitting your brother.
Yeah.
I have always been against all of the attacks on my brother, all kinds of it. I've always spoken out against. Just say sorry to your brother. The amount of attacks has been exaggerated for political gain. Right, naughty step now. That's essentially.
Yeah, Starmer basically put out a statement saying one thing, and Corbyn just went, nah. Like, he might as well have just put a video out going, I know you are, you said you are, but what am I?
The odd thing is that Corbyn has said he's only been kicked out for, it's been a political intervention. Like, yeah, what else did you think it was? Like, you're a politician, and the political party you're a member of booted you out because of the political statement you made. Of course it's political. That'd be like me, as a surgeon, like, constantly removing the wrong organs and then being struck off and going, oh, well, this has been a medical decision. Yes! Exactly what it is.
Keir Starmer, recently, I just see someone's put a poppy on a Toby jug.
That's the most northern thing you've ever said.
What?
Poppy on Toby jug. It wouldn't look out of place in Carvery.
OK, this is offensive now, Ed. This is offensive.
I understand there were some offensive comments made, but it wasn't to the extent that the media made it out.
The worry is, apparently, the Labour Party will now go into civil war, won't it? And it will break into lots of little factions and things. But that might be planned, because if the factions are small enough, each faction might be able to spend Christmas together.
In other news, what major announcement did Boris Johnson make this week? I'll do that with less joyous. Sorry, I don't think it's recognised as a topic, but really, it really didn't merit a happy thing. In other news, what major announcement did Boris Johnson make this week?
There's going to be another lockdown.
There is another lockdown. This goes out during the lockdown. These are the last days of freedom. We spent them making this show for you. So stay in your house and watch it.
I think we know what it's going to be like this time. So I think that every Thursday night at 8 o'clock, to make ourselves feel better, we should just, everyone in the country, go to the doorstep and go, ah!
This whole thing has really been stressing me out. So the other day I had a bubble bath. It was just me, my mum, my Uncle Alan.
I'm glad it happened on Halloween, because then when all the local kids threw eggs and toilet paper at my house, they just went straight into the stockpile.
I think it's great timing, because it's November now. ITV2 are going to be showing Love Actually every night. And I can just stay in and frig myself silly to Hugh Grant being Prime Minister.
How delayed was his briefing? Like, it went on... It kept getting pushed back, and both Little Mix's TV show and Strictly were delayed as a result of it. It's like Boris's thought was like, who would be the worst people to make angry in this situation? Oh, I know, hormonal teenagers and menopausal women. And within that Venn diagram, the gays.
And then they put like, it was a whole thing, and the BBC said, well, you cannot delay Strictly, which was a real slap in the face of Little Mix, because they kind of went, that, we can dump that. That is ballast, right? That is gone. But Strictly, no, do not touch Strictly.
I think Boris just wishes he was on Strictly secretly. Strictly combines his two greatest skills, making a fool of yourself and having affairs.
It's particularly intense this year in Strictly, because they all have to shield together. They all have to in their bubble, which, if you can imagine, it always had a reputation as building sexual tension between the celebrity and the dancer. And now they do 8 hours of sweaty rubbing, and then they go, oh, well, back to the hotel, I suppose. honestly, they're going to be all over each other. Apart from Bill Bailey, who will not do anything wrong. We know Bill Bailey, old friend of mine. Bill Bailey will be there with a theremin on the edge of the... There'll be some dancer going, oh, take me now, Bill, the tension is too much. And they'll go, no, first I shall do the countdown theme in the style of polka. At the end of that round, the polka's going to end. Hugh and Mar! Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. OK. Here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to say when running for president.
Silence, worms!
OK, I just need to check my notes. I've got so much money.
I'm delighted to announce that my running mate is the hologram of Kim Kardashian's dead dad.
Thank you once again for electing me, Vladimir Putin, President of the USA.
You will not find me confusing presidents with fast food outlets, and that is why I have been such a long-time admirer of JFKFC.
As president, I'll be legalizing marijuana.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be your president. Not for the fame, not for the power, not for the riches, but for the fanny.
This week I will speak in 4 states. Angry, tired, psychotic, medicated.
Why should black voters trust me? Well, if you check my college photos, I even used to dress up as you guys back in the day.
In light of recent events, we've decided to postpone all campaign activities. It's called Self-Care Babes. Look it up.
Tax havens. Tax butlins. Tax pontins.
If elected, I will drastically reduce the price of prosthetic limbs, because at the moment they cost an arm and a leg.
I will not be running in 2020. I will be skipping.
I can't deny it. I did send those explicit images, but in my defence, I had just had my arsehole bleached, and I was very pleased with how it came out.
To the people who say that I'm too old to be president, here's £1, don't tell your mum.
Yes, we can. Lock her up. Drain the swamp. Hands face space. Oh, my God. I can't stop. Speaking in threes. Someone please help.
The allegations of voter fraud are ridiculous. My opponent is just jealous of my popularity with the dead.
I'm running for president, and what do you do? Advisor? What do you do?
People say I have alienated too many people to be elected president. And to those people, I say, fuck off.
OK, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on a cookery show.
Sorry, onions always make me cry because my mother was killed by an onion truck.
Now, it's had a lot of bad press recently, but I think I can change your mind with my recipe for bat à l'orange.
If you are going to Google this recipe, do be aware that Coq au vin does bring up a lot of dogging websites.
This recipe was passed down to me by my great-grandmother, so it is a little bit racist.
So last week I showed you how to knock up a chicken. This week I showed you how to impregnate a turkey.
Hi, I'm Nigella Lawson, and I've run out of innuendo, so I'm just going to cook this curry with a tit out.
And of course, you can get these from the supermarket, but I prefer to grow my own Haribo.
Well, they're a very sad pair of dumplings, but they're still hosting MasterChef.
So there is shark fin soup. Ta-da! Sorry. Ta-da.
Now, in America, they call these eggplants, but in the UK, we simply call them chickens.
Now we've put the pineapple on the pizza, all that's left is to slide it into the bin.
So, is it a cereal? Is it seafood? Who cares? It's the world's most dangerous fusion food, sugar pufferfish.
Core, 2 apples. Sorry, core 2 apples.
So when my family came to England in the 60s, they very early on, they realised that all you need to do is package up any old shit, call it authentic, and white people will lap it up.
Welcome to my new pop-up restaurant where we just make toast.
And now I'm going to roast these carrots. Yeah, you wonky orange knobs.
So we just wait for that to rise for a minute, and if it doesn't, I'll pop another Viagra.
It's another lockdown. You know what that means? It's another series of Cooking Wild Pest! Today, we're going to put an oven-ready meal in the microwave for too long.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, you and Mark. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Maisie Adam, Ed Gamble and Sue Bosna. Commiserations to Mark Simmons, Hugh Dennis and Ed Byrne. Thanks for watching. I'm Dara Green. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara O'Brien. Joining this week are Ed Byrne, Tom Allen and Tanya Moore, Milton Jones, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. As ever in this time of regulation, our panelists are all sitting with perspex dividers between them because of COVID. And while previously we had a small audience, about 80 or 90 in the room, they can't attend anymore. So now our audience is entirely on Zoom. Big hello to our Zoom audience. Good to have you here. Yes, we are one more set of regulations away from being a podcast. We start with a round called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, what is going on here?
if you pull back, you can see Carrie Simmons above, just about to drop an anvil.
Is this Home Alone 47?
Or someone's got a guinea pig in the Secret Santa.
You can't see it, but in the next door along, he's Mr. Goings.
Is this Dominic Cummings resigning, or is this just the lockdown 2 thing that every Thursday night Dominic Cummings stands on the doorstep and resigns for the NHS?
To be fair, Boris thinks he's won, but that whole box is full of loo roll.
I mean, for once, the nation truly hopes that leave does mean leave.
Yeah. He's a weird bloke. He looks like the sort of bloke who sends letters to Lorraine Kelly asking for pictures of her feet.
No, do you know what he looks like? No, do you know what he looks like? No offence, but he looks like somebody let the air out of Dara.
Yes, could we know what the answer is, Hugh, Dave?
It's Dominic Cummings.
Thank you very much, Hugh. You're right. Yes. This is Dominic Cummings, Chief Advisor to Prime Minister Boris Johnson, pictured during his dramatic Downing Street departure this week. This is the news that Cummings and his ally Lee Cain were asked to leave Number 10 with immediate effect. Johnson was said to have lost patience with them after a number of embarrassing leaks and reports of unflattering messages they sent about his fiancée, Carrie Simmons. So this is the picture, which is, I think, unnecessarily Christmassy.
It is theatre. It is absolute theatre. He would have gone out the back door. It was a photo op. Nobody leaves their place of work holding a cardboard box of their belongings. People only do... In fact, this is the first in a series of photographs he's having taken of people doing seemingly mundane things that you actually only see in American movies. It's like... Next picture is going to be him sunbathing with a reflector underneath. No one does that in real life.
Scenes you'll only see in a movie, him drinking whiskey, and in the background there's a screen of children's home movies of birthday parties, and he's going, say happy birthday again, little man.
He hasn't stopped work there, has he? He's working from home. Is he not?
Yes,
yes,
he is.
yeah.
It assumes that he gets reasonable internet access in his hollowed-out volcano.
The thing about Dominic Cummings, I always think, is what dreadful clothes. I mean, awful dress sense. He looks like he's just fallen into a rack at TK Maxx and headed off to host a Venture Scout. He looks like every university student on the second week.
Why? Why did he have to go? Why?
It was partially nicknames, wasn't it? They discovered nicknames on the... And this is astonishing, because Boris apparently was perfectly happy that Dominic Cummings broke lockdown and turned the whole parliamentary party against him and turned most of the country against him. That was absolutely fine. But as soon as Boris found out that he referred to his girlfriend as Princess Nut-Nut, it was all over. And it's not even a nickname, it's the name of the lap-dancing squirrel in Beatrix Potter.
I love that. It's sort of, you can destroy faith in public health, but don't slag off my bird. That's the whole Princess Nut-Nut thing, it really makes me angry, because it's a thing that's been used forever when women are justifiably angry about something, for men just to tell them they're a bit mad. And it happens all the time. My friend at her wedding got called a bridezilla by the best man because she asked him not to do coke off the present table. And it happens all the time, and it's like, you're the one who drove up the A1 with a toddler in the back to test your eyesight, you mad bastard, and you call her insane. And then I thought, she does have sex with Boris Johnson.
Do you think when they get married she'll change her name to Carrie Johnson, or is that just a job description?
But it's just this idea that apparently the reason he had to go is that he was briefing against, not Boris Johnson just, but he was briefing against Boris and his fiancée, Carrie. Like, who gives a shit what Carrie Simmons thinks? We're not America. We don't have the official post of First Lady. And even if we did, she wouldn't be his First Lady by a long...
I would say she's number 10.
Because, and I'm not, this is not me being sexist, like, no one gave a shit what Dennis Thatcher thought. Does anybody even remember what Theresa May's husband was called?
Philip May.
1%! I'm ruining this. Well, you know what? I had to look it up last night, and that's not a lie.
Some of us on this programme watch the news.
Now, I get my news from this, and have I got news for you?
Well, wait till you hear about the vaccine. No spoilers. Don't tell him yet. Yeah. I'm going to read this next week exactly as it's written because I think it deserves to be read exactly as written. How might all this affect the post-Brexit trade negotiations with the EU? This is definitely the group you should be asking that of.
Yeah.
This is definitely the Brains Trust who should be trusted with this.
I have to tell you, I've been coming on the show since Brexit was voted for, and this is the week when we change American president and we get a vaccine for coronavirus. I'm not going to talk about Brexit. I'm done. I've said everything that I wanted to say about it.
It's interesting.
Do you hear that? Yeah. That's the will of the people.
By the way, sorry, it is a good point. Just made that point that we did 3 weeks at the start of the series. We took 1 week clear so they could do Children in Need. 1 week we took off this show, and in that week, Cummings left, Trump left, and they got a vaccine. So you guys.
And you still want to talk about Brexit?
The thing is, I think nobody, when the vote happened, right, nobody knew what it really meant. They thought it was all about sovereignty and taking back control and all of that bollocks, when actually it's about fishing quotas, largely. And the problem with it is that when they did the vote, they should have made that clear. It's because people were voting for different things, right? It's like, so if you have a fancy dress party, right, and you just say that the dress code is risque, you're going to get some people turn up as a naughty nun, and you're going to get some people turn up with a strap on.
Yeah. That is a really naughty nun as well. That is a really naughty nun.
She's in Sister Act 4, that nun.
Why don't we take a new angle and just blame the fish? Just go into Sainsbury's. When we get no deal, just go into Sainsbury's, pick up a packet of frozen fish fingers and go, it's all your fault, you scaly bastards! I've been stuck on the M2 and we can't get any medicine!
We've got to deal with it now, haven't we? We couldn't go back to the EU now, even if we wanted to. You can't go back to the garden party after you've taken a shit in the punch. They won't let you. Like,
what are these parties you're going to? Nuns with strap-ons, shitting in a punch bowl?
Oh, my social life is really not up to Angela Barnes' standard.
We're going to end up with an Australian-style deal, you know, years of imprisonment.
What other setback did Boris Johnson have this week?
He got told to isolate.
Yes, he is isolating because that app, do you remember that app? Do you remember that app? Do you remember that app we all put on the phone? Yeah. Like, whatever? His went ding. For the first time, the app went ding, and somebody went and blew all the dust off the app because it hadn't done ding before.
I've said this before, but I don't know why they didn't get the gays to do the whole thing.
Yeah.
Because we've had Grindr for ages, which tells you where you're nearest. Change it over to COVID.
Yes.
And now they're telling everybody the only way you can meet up with someone is in a park. I mean, I don't mean to play on stereotypes.
OK, get that round. The boys go to Ed, Tom and Tanya.
We won.
Now, we play a round called Princess Mock Mock. This game involves Milton and Tom. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch the wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. And the first topic is Days Out. Who wants to come in on that?
Oh, yes. Yes, I can talk about Days Out. I can't say I've ever been on a day out with anything that looks like that, though. No. My favourite days out were as a kid when you were at school and you got to go to somewhere like Lullingstone Roman Villa. We always seemed to be going to Lullingstone Roman Villa. It was quite boring because it was all about, like, history, and we were all like, oh, history's so boring. And you'd get a letter home telling you about it, telling your parents, say, dear parents / guardian. I don't know why the newspaper had to get involved. And it would say things like, please wear suitable clothing. Well, I'd never been to a Roman villa before, so I just turned up in a toga. The only thing that really mattered to us was spending the £1.50 we'd been given by our mum in the gift shop. And the gift shop was mainly filled with pencil sharpeners with Lullingstone Roman Villa written on them, or rubbers with Lullingstone Roman Villa written on them, or sometimes just a rock with Lullingstone Roman Villa written on it. Was basically the highlight of the whole day. Now, I feel like the hallmark of being an adult is the main thing you do is you join the National Trust. That's what everybody does. Don't join English Heritage. It's not the same. They will tell you to fuck off from their gravel driveway if you join English Heritage. National Trust properties, what are they? You're looking around a house that you could never afford to live in. It's basically a Rightmove search that's got way out of control. Really, the only thing you really care about is actually the end of the trip when you get to go and have a look around the gift shop. And you think, suddenly, history does make sense because it keeps on repeating. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. OK, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. This is in any way relevant. It's Friends!
Friends sometimes ask me why I'm training 2 rabbits to leap up in the air behind me and flex their ears simultaneously. Well, I say, friends. I don't know if you ever get to know someone on the internet and then you actually go round to their house and spell out in balloons, will you marry me? And then you see their actual face and you pop the question. So recently, I said to my long-standing girlfriend, sit down, will you? Ed Byrne, that sounds like a nasty injury. I have another friend who works in a lighthouse, and he said it was very, 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 very boring until he got a slinky. I've got another friend who thinks I've got attention deficit. Look at those lights. And I've got another friend who really doesn't like it when they're having a shower and I try and wash a knife at the same time.
Mr. Jones. Point at the end goes to Mr. Jones. Go on, Mr. Jones. Our next round is called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Tanya, which category would you like?
I'm going to go with health, please.
OK, cool. Your category is health. The answer is over 80. What is the question?
Is it the age women actually orgasm? The women went with it. I think we know.
Not in my experience.
Is it the number of Valentine cards sent by Dara to Professor Brian Cox?
Is it how many post-it notes do you need if you want to go to a fancy dress party as a pangolin?
Is it how many politicians does it take to work PowerPoint?
Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
Is it exercise and diet keeps him looking young? But actually, how old is Joe Wicks?
What is is the vet recommended number of lace holes if you're planning to buy your horse some Dr. Martens?
Since lockdown, how many of my 99 problems are actually bitch-related?
What is the average age of the young Conservatives in Bournemouth?
Is it? How many TV appearances has Tom Allen made this week? Every time a different outfit.
I know, right? I know. That's how many outfits I have. I'm thrilled that you've got enough time to spend at home watching.
Is it how many men respond to every joke I put on Twitter with corrections?
Actually, you'll find it's not over 80.
How many people called Alistair did I invite to a book launch when I worked in PR instead of A-listers?
And you know the correct answer?
It's by law, how many people must mingle outside of student halls in Manchester?
It is by law, what is the speed limit if you're in a hurry?
It's the age bracket that the vaccine will be given to after key workers.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Tom Allen. Very good. Yes, the question I was looking for was which age group will be the first in line for the new COVID vaccine? This is the news that Pfizer announced that their vaccine has been found to be 90% effective. Since that news, other companies have also announced the success of their vaccine trials. Are we all excited?
They say it's 90% effective.
Yes.
If I said I was 90% an effective babysitter, that's not much consolation. 10% of babies I've lost.
But here's the best bit. The first one was 90%, the second one 95%, condoms 99.8%.
And we know that's 100%.
Yeah, but Femidoms are 95% and no one uses them. You might as well use a crisp packet.
A crisp packet?
You can take the girl out of Maidstone.
What sort of crisps were they?
Ready salted, I'm not an animal.
The Femidon is very much like a shopping bag, but not a bag for life, ironically. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I noticed there was like a bit of good news, and then the BBC News website waited about 8 minutes, and then we're like, yeah, but don't get too happy. Just remember, it won't make any effect yet, and it probably won't. No, everybody will still be miserable. Don't get too excited about it.
Probably tastes horrible. So just before that, like you.
So don't think you can have Christmas, because that's off the table. Yeah, so keep being miserable.
Do you know what? I'm going to wait for the Russian vaccine, because that's much less invasive. They just send a bloke round your house who rubs it on your door handle.
It has to be kept at -70, right? And they're saying they're going to keep it in like this super thermos to contain it. But babes, isn't that just a flask?
No, it will require a totally independent infrastructure to deliver cold goods, and so Mr. Whippy has stepped up. It is time for me to do my duty.
My parents told me that it was playing the music because it had run out of vaccines.
There's a problem because they have to use dry ice and there's a CO2 shortage, apparently, so that could be a problem. It's a problem for the vaccine. It's also a problem for people like me who like to make an entrance into a living room.
It's great to be at your party. Later, I will shit in the punch. But now, I'm arriving dramatically.
Like, obviously, you've got to give it to the old people first, and then you have to give it to people who are doing important work. So I reckon it should go David Attenborough, Captain Tom, and then the woman who does my bikini line.
You've got to let her retire. She's 93.
Well, all right, in that case, just send Captain Captain Tom round with a tub of Imac and we'll be all
He'd do it. He'd do it. He'd bloody do it.
Let's do it.
Bloody do it, Captain Tom.
He'd do it one way, then he'd do it the other way.
As well as they're going to use the army and they're going to use medical students, they're going to use vets.
No.
To administer.
Are they?
Oh, no,
Perfect.
Yeah. And you know the people who've had their vaccine administered by a vet because they're going to have a huge code.
Stop it. Oh, it's going very, very well. Should we check in with the Zoom crowd? See the Zoom crowd enjoying it? So this is the What's the squirrel?
What is that?
All right, come back out. Where are you all?
It looks like the only person who was really smart was the lady in the bottom because she just moved her phone.
Okay, give that round of applause to Ed, Tom, and Tanya. Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, then we'll see what our panelists can come up with. All right, here we go. The first subject is things a news reporter would never say.
And the Prime Minister is just going to be arriving now. I'm going to see if I can just have a quick word with him, and that word's going to be weather!
And I'm reporting live from North Korea because my colleagues hate me.
So I'm not going to tell you who I am, where I am, or what's happening.
All around me, I can hear shelling. Why? I am in a pea factory.
And today, Meghan and Harry have, to be honest, I don't care.
Now, the traffic news. There's a terrible mess just past junction 16 on the M4, Swindon.
And now, to find out how those peace talks are progressing, we're going to cross now to Camp David. Oh, hello, Ducky!
And I'm just getting word now that half of the hostages have been released, which can only be... Oh, hang on, sorry. Oh no, half a hostage has been...
You're watching Channel 5 News. Sorry, I'm a bit... Sorry, no one's ever done that before. Have you sat on the remote?
The following scenes contain flash photography. Very flash. Terry's got a new camera.
Tonight, the winner of the Euro Millions largest ever rollover jackpot has been announced. That's right. Read your own fucking headline.
I don't care if you don't want to see me again. It's still polite to text back, Darren.
And now back to Phil Collins in the studio.
Are newsreaders getting too dramatic? Find out more next week.
Water has been discovered on the moon, very close to the spot where Neil Armstrong said, "Hey, Buzz, I'm just nipping behind this rock for a minute."
Eyewitnesses say that the flasher bears an uncanny resemblance to Gru from Despicable Me and emits a short buzzing noise just before exposing himself.
Okay, the next topic is unlikely lines from kids' films and TV shows.
And today's show, children, has been brought to you by the letter P and the number 45. Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4. Gosh, Mr. Tumble, you do have a low sperm count.
Thomas the Tank Engine huffed and puffed as he pulled out of Paddington. Paddington rolled over and had a post-coital marmalade sandwich. Mash up! Mash up!
Can I tell you a secret? Said Tigger. I killed Carol Baskin's husband.
Peppa Pig. Great with rice.
In this week's Horrible Histories, we're going to be covering 2020. Oh, no!
Next up, it's the world's first fully animated pornography. Sex Toy Story.
I don't know what happened. I just joined in with the song and I lost control of the bus.
Mummy Bear said, somebody's been sleeping in my bed. And Daddy Bear said, well, you don't have to rub it in, you whore.
Oh, look, here come the 7 dwarves. Grumpy, Bashful, Sleepy, Dopey, Crackhead, Nonce and Gimp.
On this week's Angelina Ballerina, we'll be finding out if Angelina can get a job in cyber.
Hello, fat controller, said Thomas. Fuck you, call me, you grey-faced twat.
I really love you, Peter Rabbit. Oh, wait, sorry, no, Rampant. Rampant Rabbit.
Well, we've told him it's a giant peach, but the truth is, James is just very, very small.
Did you know, children, that without rap music, we wouldn't have Pass the Parcel music?
But luckily, before Cinderella had left the party, she had left a shit in the punch bowl. And the prince said, whoever's arse this shit hit, I will marry.
At the end of that round, the points go to Ed, Tom and Tanya. And that's the end of the show. This week's winners are Tanya Moore, Tom Allen and Ed Bird. Commiserations to Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Milton Jones. Thank you for watching. I'm Dara Breen. Good night. Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Dara Breen. Joined this week are Ed Gamble, Maisie Adam and Michael Odewale, Rhys James, Hugh Dennis and Angela Barnes. And of course, as the coronavirus crisis continues, we will be performing between Perspex sheets, as we have already. We have no studio audience with us under the regulations we currently have. Instead, we get to look into people's homes and spot possible points of burglar intrusion. And of course, so spot the weak points. That's the game we're playing tonight. Give it up for us in crowd. We start tonight with a round called If This Is the Answer, What Is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. Michael, which category would you like?
Can we have home news, please?
You can, of course. Your topic is home news. The answer is 5. What is the question?
Is it the amount of votes Trump thinks Biden actually got?
How many times an hour do you hear the phrase, do you know, I think I had it in January?
Is it how many times yesterday did Priti Patel flush a colleague's head down the nose?
Is it what is the percentage success rate of the Oxford Brooks vaccine?
Is it what channel's election coverage is just a bloke watching BBC News going, have you seen this?
Is it how many black people in a Sainsbury's ad before people start complaining?
Is it how many metres is the required social distancing in Melania Trump's bedroom?
During lockdown, what time do I call whole bottle of scotch o'clock?
Is it halfway through this second lockdown, how many plaits can I now get in my pubes?
Gotta have a hobby.
Is it what age did Dara start losing his hair?
Actually, it was 20.
Is it what's my average daily step count for 2020?
Is it how many minutes into the new series of The Crown was it before I was Googling Princess Diana conspiracy thing?
Is it, taking into account the rule of 6, how many spaces are left at Priti Patel's office Christmas party?
Is it how many people have actually been contacted by Track and Trace?
It's how many people on this Zoom are wearing trousers.
Does anyone have the correct answer, please?
How many days are we going to have to be with our families at Christmas?
That's correct. Thank you very much. You're absolutely right. Yes, the question I was looking for was, how many days is the government considering relaxing COVID rules over Christmas? This is the news that government ministers are in talks about easing COVID-19 restrictions for 5 days over the festive period, which could involve allowing up to 3 households to mix. However, health officials have warned that each day of freedom could cost 5 days of tighter restrictions either side of Christmas. So, this seems if it's going to happen. Will it make a change to your Christmas plans?
I'm worried that if they're opening bars, that there's going to be Christmas parties, and Christmas parties are a super spreader event. I've worked in some rough offices. I worked in an office once. It was so rough. In the Secret Santa, I got a morning after pill.
You know, if we're all travelling, that means the death rate's going to go up. And that's changed the way I'm looking at buying presents. You know, I was going to buy my granddad a phone on a 12-month contract. But now I'm thinking pay-as-you-go is probably the best way to go about it.
It changes everything. It changes the hymns. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a persistent cough.
No one asked for 5 days either. I don't know where they've got 5 days from. Everyone's going, we want Christmas Day with our families, and the government have called their bluff and gone, all right, 5 days. And they're going, OK, 2. Please, not 5.
It's going to give a new, darker meaning to the phrase, oh, go on, it's the holidays. You know, people used to say that to justify having 1 more mince pie, not to having 1 less grandad.
I'd be perfectly happy to spend Christmas here with all of you.
Yeah, but this is more than 3. We couldn't do that. It's a nice gesture.
Oh, my gosh, there's 7 of us.
There's 7 of us.
So who would leave?
Thing. Who would
I don't mind bowing
First one in, first one out.
What, you're already making plans to get out of here. I'm sorry.
No, I just like, yeah. I'm not sure how it looks like if I go.
Yeah, that does seem like you have to stay.
I think I have to be here.
And by the way, may I just say to our Zoom crowd, little early on the Christmas tree. Little early on the Christmas tree. It's November.
It's 2020, Dara.
What was the good news from Oxford this week?
They've developed a vaccine.
They've developed a vaccine, absolutely, they have, yeah.
In the course of a day, it went from 70% effective at lunchtime to 90% effective by the 6 o'clock news. It's amazing.
Well, it says it's 70% effective, and what the Pfizer one is 95% effective. We've still ordered, 5 million doses of it, which shows that it's the same as in the comedy industry. You can be shit as long as you went to Oxford.
Yeah, I feel like, because I went to Greenwich University, so I don't know if I can make fun of the Oxford vaccine. Like, we're testing cowpole, like, that's where we're at.
It's going to be so embarrassing that we've got to do this one. America have got a proper one that works, and we've got this 70... Essentially, our mums at Christmas are just going, oh, the man in the shop said it's just like the Pfizer vaccine.
Mum, you bought me a Y box.
The people refusing to take vaccines, going, I don't know what's in it. They're the same people who eat Iceland sausages. These people who don't... the anti-vaccine people, do they think that there's a chip in vaccines that is going to track...
Wake up, sheeple, there is.
Imagine being that arrogant, thinking the government wants to track me. Like, trust me, the government do not want to inject me with a vaccine to track what I'm up to. They'd be sat there, the first day, they'd be going, is he going for another shit? We've spent millions on this secret chip to inject infants, and he just goes, computer shit all day long. Oh, fridge, shit.
Yeah. I feel bad for the Russian vaccine, because they just made theirs too quickly, do you know what I mean? It's like when you order an Indian takeaway and the guy's like, I'll be there in 15 minutes. And you're like, nah, take longer. That's too soon. You didn't spend any time on my food, did you?
What £7 billion plan has Boris Johnson announced?
Is that mass testing?
Mass testing.
Of everyone, all the time.
He's announced mass testing
every 15
just after
minutes.
3 separate vaccines have arrived.
Yeah.
So he's announced the one thing we don't need, that at some stage, just after we've got the vaccine, well, what's this for? Oh, we thought we'd test you as well? I've just got this. I just got the vaccine, I don't need it.
We talked about mass testing before, and he said it was like a pregnancy test that you can do every day, and I thought, you're the only person I can think of who'd need a pregnancy test every day.
It's typical, isn't it? Because you know that on the day that the last person in Britain is vaccinated, he will announce that track and trace is finally working.
Have you had a test?
I've tested. I get a test every week for this.
What, we don't?
You don't?
No, I have not.
I'm sorry. Whoa. I'm the one who should be going, you don't? I get tested every week.
So, Dara, does that mean you can lick us and it'll be fine?
Well, yeah, but it would be wrong.
I mean, not in a BDC way, it wouldn't, but...
That's not my only judgment of whether I can lick other people I work with is, well, I'm COVID safe. Let the slathering begin.
Oh, Dara, you can let a girl dream.
And the points go to Ed, Maisie and Michael. Woo. Now we play a round called Wham Bam Thanks Van Tam. This game involves Angela and Maisie. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launched a wheel of news, and whoever chooses to stop one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. First topic is health. Maisie.
Big year for health, am I right? I recently got a call from the NHS asking me to come for my first ever cervical screening exam, my smear test. But I got, the doctor called me in. He said, Miss Adam, I hope it's OK with you. We'll need to get a female chaperone for this exam. I said, yeah, of course, that's absolutely fine. I don't know about you guys, but I assumed when he said a female chaperone, I just assumed he meant female health worker. What I did not assume was Sharon off of reception. So imagine, if you will, I am already lying down on the table, like legs akimbo, in the stirrups, and from behind the curtain, like some sort of budget stars in their eyes, Sharon appeared. Like, tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be checking out your fanny, right? Thankfully, she came up and joined at the top end rather than the business end. He was at the business end digging for gold. And she stood over me and maintained what can only be described as the most intense eye contact I've ever experienced in my life. And the reason I know this was because I made the fatal mistake of looking up at Sharon and locking eyes, at which point I thought, you're in now, you've got to say something. So I said, How have you been? Have you been busy? Like I got in an Uber. And I thought she'd find this as uncomfortable as me and try and cut it off. No, no, no. Sharon took this as an invitation for a deep, meaningful chat. She went, do you know what? I won't lie. It's been really, really hard. It's been really difficult. We've never been under such a strain as now. The NHS is really, really struggling. The phone lines are going off the hook. We've got too many patients, not enough doctors. I'm not seeing my family half as much as I wish I could. Her voice started cracking. She went, everybody stop clapping on a Thursday night. And I didn't know what to do, so I grabbed her hand and I said, Sharon, I'm so sorry you feel like that. I'm so sorry. This is during my cervical screening exam. A man is inside me. I said, I'm so sorry you feel like that, Sharon, but I just want you to know you're so appreciated, and it's people like you that have kept this country going, and I'm really sorry you've been made to feel underappreciated. And then, from between my inner thighs, the doctor looked up at Sharon and went, do you know what? She's right, Sharon. You've been brilliant. He then turned to me and went, what say you and I give Sharon 3 cheers, right? I don't know how this pandemic is going to end, but quite frankly, any healthcare service where we are encouraged to sing a song of support to the lady from reception during our smear test with the added encore of "for she's a jolly good fellow" is a healthcare system worth saving.
Thank you very much, Maisie. OK, that leaves us with Angela. Let's see what your topic is. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is exercise.
I do exercise, surprisingly. I do. I recently did the Couch to 5K app. I don't know if you've seen it. It's absolutely brilliant because it starts you off really slowly. So you sort of run for 30 seconds, then you can take a break, which I took to mean I could have a Kit Kat. So... And it's great as well because you can download a celebrity voice to be your sort of guide, your coach. And I downloaded Sarah Millican because she's a mate of mine, and I thought that would be nice, but I had to change it because I kept calling her an arsehole. I changed it to Lawrence Fox. That solved that problem. You run a lot quicker when you think that prick's behind you, let me tell you. My boyfriend, he's a proper runner. Like, he does these ultra marathons. He did one recently that was 100 miles. Like, 100 miles, that's like a fifth of a Proclaimer, right? But I did do it. I finished the Couch to 5K, and last year I did my first ever 5K race, which is brilliant. They gave me a medal, and doesn't it feel brilliant as an adult to get a medal? Doesn't it? You get them all the time when you're a kid. They give you a medal for tying your shoelaces, won't they? Do you remember when you were in the Brownies and the Scouts? They used to give you all those badges, keep you incentivized. Why does that have to stop? You know, I definitely do my tax return on time if I got a badge. Why can't we get badges for adult things? Not adult things. That's... Here's your blowjob badge. I definitely get it, but where would I sew it on? Did you know, in the Brownies now, they are thinking of introducing a self-esteem badge. Yeah, how shit are you going to feel if you don't get it?
Thank you very much, Angela. Points for everyone. Come on back. Our next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topical image and ask them to tell me what is happening. So what is going on here?
Is this the Penguin realising Batman's beaten him again?
Oh, looks like someone forgot to book the Melania double.
Is it Donald Trump going, come on, you can see what I mean? It was fraud, and you're invisible, and you voted.
Is it when you're feeling woozy when the bleach in the veins start to hit?
Has he misinterpreted the phrase "sitting president" and things? If I just never stand up.
Has he finally realised that he does actually have quite small hands?
Is this just Donald Trump shaking hands with his most recent sexual partner?
It's just behind that red wall, you can hear his aides going, what do we do? Do we wake him up again and tell him he's lost Georgia for the 3rd time?
Is he looking down at his spot in hell when he dies?
As one of his team just said, don't worry, Donald, we can have our own inauguration right here in the garden.
Has his mum forgotten to pick him up from the G20?
Someone is about to go, President number 46, please.
Do they know what the correct answer is?
I think that's Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. Yes, this is US President Donald Trump, who this week finally authorized his team to coordinate with President-elect Joe Biden's incoming administration. However, he's still refusing to concede the presidential election, which was called for Biden nearly 3 weeks ago, insisting that he is moving full speed ahead with his legal challenges. So how have they been blocking Biden's transition team?
They've been refusing to release the cash to pay for the transition. So Biden was having to crowdfund for money to do the transition. You know, it's going to cost him a lot of money, the whole transition. Think of the amount of stair lifts he's going to have to put in the White House.
The thing is, though, everyone said it was bad he was having to crowdfund it, but he's, like, in his 80s. Just a couple of laps of your garden, that's 60 million easy.
I don't think Donald Trump should have to pay for it. It's like someone breaking up with you and then going, oh, just before I go, can I have a bit of money? I'm going on a date.
It's just mad it's gone on this long. Like, when I was last on this show, it was election night, and we were all going, oh, I wonder what time we'll know what the result is for definite and what time we'll see the concession speech, whoever that might be. That was 3 weeks ago. And there I was going, Boris delayed his briefing and it ran into Strictly, and that is not on. That's mad! 3 weeks they've been waiting.
In the style of people who, you know, don't want to leave a house, they have to be brought out, taken out of the house, like whatever. Trump is in the White House at the moment, sewing himself into the curtain. That's for years we go. Yeah. Can you smell Trump? Feels like Trump's still here, and he's in the pelmet.
I heard Trump is going to skip the inauguration, which a sitting president hasn't done since 1869. Yeah. And Biden should know because he was there.
He seems to be Trump's playing a massive game of pensioner chicken, where he's just seeing how long he can string things out and hope Joe Biden dies before him. He's going to run out of legal challenges and then just start making stuff up properly and accusing Joe Biden of being 3 kids in one big coat.
But haven't they officially declared it as, like, the most secure election in American history?
Yeah.
Like, loads of things. I mean, that is a kick in the teeth for someone trying to prove the opposite, isn't it? Yeah. Basically saying, not only did you not win the beauty pageant, this is the most vomit we've seen from a judging panel.
He's doing what I used to do when my mum came to pick me up from a friend's house. She'd be going, 5-minute warning, we're leaving now. I'd be going, Mum, I'm doing a jigsaw in the Oval Office.
Let's hide.
Let's hide.
Eventually he'll leave, though. He will leave the White House. Biden
to,
will go in, but he'll do something like just refusing to give Biden the Wi-Fi password. And then we'll spend 4 years with an offline president. We've had all these years of Trump doing these mad tweets, and with Biden we'll just get a newsletter at Christmas.
Because it is. I mean, I don't know if you've ever moved, if you buy a house and it's a bit tense in the process, and you go in the first day and you turn on the light switch and then go, oh, you've taken the bulb. What kind of assholes take the bulb from the house?
Did you just turn to us and say, I don't know if you've ever moved?
Bought a house when you've moved,
I have
and
moved.
they have, yeah.
No, it was worse. He looked at the young people and went, I don't know if you've bought houses.
Sometimes.
And we all collectively went,
It's all right,
no.
They take all the bulbs, they take the curtains, they take the bulbs, they take everything out. Yeah, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry if I've alienated you by pointing out.
No, I was trying to get a riff going. I've bought a house. Sorry, Maisie.
Yeah.
Hang on, what? Have you bought a house? Michael, have you bought a house?
I haven't even bought a light bulb. So
What was notable about Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani's recent press conference?
This is terrible. He started to... It was quite hot, wasn't it? He started to sweat and he started to drip hair dust down his face during the thing.
I don't know about this, Dara, because I obviously don't dye my hair, but just reminds me, is it a good thing when your lawyer's so nervous he leaks from the head?
And actually, not just... It's on both sides. It came down on both sides. It actually ran down...
I'm not being funny, but this is the photo that I took into the hair salon to get this.
Imagine finding Rudy Giuliani in 2019 and telling him what his future held. He's going, look, you're going to have quite the 2020. First off, you're going to be caught with your hand on your dick in the Borat sequel.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then you're going to accidentally hold a press conference at a landscape company. And I'm not finished here, Rudy. Then you are going to melt.
It's amazing, though. What a team him and Trump make. So he can't go out when it's humid and Trump can't go out in a high wind.
Normally, Giuliani sees anything black running away from him as a good thing. It's a surprise for him.
The thing is, Rudy Giuliani is such a liar. He's about to tell Emily Maitlis he's got a condition that means he can't sweat.
Hey, look, earlier on, I mentioned about how we're checking out your houses for burglary. Obviously, we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't dream of, stepping into your homes, because I'm sure you're very nice people, and you're probably, tooled up for such a thing, aren't you? You probably got, hang on, what the hell?
Someone's got fire extinguisher.
Scimitar? OK, the cuddly toy isn't going to work. Just so you know that. The cuddly toy is the least effective thing.
The guy with the gun is brandishing it. The woman next to him is wearing shades, and I'm just concerned that she's blind and doesn't know he's got a gun.
I honestly, really, seriously, if we've got to laugh at all of you people, I'm happy just to back away.
I like that couple on the cream sofa just casually brandishing a hammer and a knife. It's like the most lethal episode of Goggleball.
I hate to say it, but the man with a hammer genuinely looks like a serial killer.
But he clearly couldn't choose a knife, so she's just brought the whole knife selection.
Maybe she's going to throw them, and then it'll go dong, 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 like...
Sorry, is somebody holding up a copy of The Watchtower? Who are they coming up against? Jeremy Corbyn?
At the end of that round, I give the point to Angela, Hugh and Reid. Now, we come to scenes we'd like to see, so if everyone can make their way over to the performance area. I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely lines from a blockbuster movie.
Unfortunately, this year's Hunger Games has had to be cancelled thanks to Marcus Bloody Rashford.
You talking to me? You talking to me? As I say, Mrs. Patel, sometimes it's just your tone.
I'm sorry, Mr. Batman. The mask has to cover your mouth.
He says he's going to kill you, but he won't. He's just being silly. Stop being Darth Vader!
Stella! Stella! So you have to order on the app.
We need to join forces to become a pantomime horse. You be front. I'll be back.
Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred. Oh, go on, and a bag of Frazzles.
Everything I touch just turns to ice. I can't give hand jobs away.
Give me one good reason why I shouldn't kill you. It's illegal. Well, game, set, and match. I can't apologise enough.
Wax on, wax off. Wax on, wax off. God, this is a good episode of Naked Attraction.
All the superheroes are sat cross-legged on a sports hall floor in Avengers Assembly.
I mean, you can laugh, but I did that one in Series 14, so, yeah.
Take that! Yeah, I'll take it.
I am Batman. Do you have any strepsils?
I don't know what happened. I was just making love to John McClane, and then he passed away. I guess it was a good day to die hard.
I don't know what happened. I was just making love to John McClane, and then he passed away. I guess it was a good day to die hard. Just use whichever one you prefer.
You had me at hello. You lost me at send nudes.
I see dead people, OK? And they all voted for Sleepy Joe Biden.
You're not the president. You're wearing a disguise. I just ripped the president's face off.
Say hello to my little friend! Mr. Sunak, if you could just outline the budget.
Of course we need a bigger boat. You cannot catch a shark in a fucking pedalo.
The next topic is things you never hear in a science documentary.
And your host is not Dara O'Brien.
The UK consumes more coke than any other country in Europe. So why can't I find my dealer anywhere?
Hi, I'm Brian Cox, and I'm here with my favourite bald comic companion, Tom Allen.
The human body is 80% water. What would it feel like if it wasn't? Well, much better. I've needed that piss since breakfast.
There's two main rules when it comes to magnetism: attraction and repulsion. Sorry, not magnetism, Tinder.
And this right here is the exact spot where man crawled out of the sea and attempted to walk. Welcome to Ibiza Uncovered.
So I dedicated my entire life to becoming a rocket scientist, only to discover years later that it didn't impress Shania Twain at all.
NASA have finally solved the problem of lack of motivation at work with this, a rocket small enough to put up your arse.
The planet used to be one large landmass called Pangaea before its inhabitants voted for Pangexit.
If you look around, chemistry is everywhere, except in my marriage.
Well, stand back and put your safety goggles on, and let's see what happens when I pop a Viagra.
We finally discovered what dolphins are actually saying to each other, and it turns out they're quite racist.
Welcome to the documentary you switched to when your mum walked in on you watching porn.
Well, we've got it up to 70%. That's enough, isn't it?
Some say science and religion can't mix. But if not for DNA, we wouldn't have caught these priests.
As Archimedes lay in the bath, he made his greatest discovery yet. Dicks float.
And that was Buzz Aldrin there, talking about, believe it or not, the fucking moon again. Jesus Christ, mate, change it up.
That's the end of that round. The points go to Ed, Maisie and Michael. That's the end of the show. This week's winners are Angela Barnes, Hugh Dennis and Rhys James. Commiserations to Michael O'Doherty, Maisie Adam and Ed Gamble. Thank you for watching. Good night.